All right, we are back live. Episode 53. Shout out to the audience. This is the radio show about nothing, podcast about nothing. We are back recording the show that's not going to order 48 oysters at dinner. To my left, co-host, co-creator, owner of the studio. Tap in, talk to him.
Boom, 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 boom.
Gunshots.
Welcome back, baby. Welcome back, man. It feels good to be back. Sorry about last episode. I would just go ahead and break the fifth wall immediately.
Yeah.
The fifth episode, technical difficulties do happen. We do not have professional recording. This is all me and Ish. So the audio was lost due to the lack of storage on my computer. I'm working on getting a new computer. Christmas is coming. Shout out to my mom.
Shout out Santa.
So yeah, sorry about the audio from last episode. If you still tapped in and listen, I really do appreciate that because I do know it was a rough listen. That won't happen again for the rest of these episodes, I promise. So like Ish said, episode 53. I do not know a 53.
Oh, Kyle Van Noy,
nigga.
Patriot legend, Super
Is
Bowl
it Matt
champion.
Milano 53 right now too?
I think
Or
he's
is he
52. I think he's 58.
50, okay.
Yeah,
All right, my bad.
Hey,
Matt
listen,
Milano.
shout out to Matt Milano,
And prayers.
big friend of the show.
Yeah,
prayers up,
prayers for sure.
speedy recovery, dude.
For sure.
Is an actual friend of the show. Shout out to him, man.
Yeah. So beautiful, beautiful show today. It's a beautiful Thursday night in Georgia. Just stopped raining. It's a nice, where the fall weather is coming in, so it's nice and cool outside. But if you got on a full sweatsuit outfit and you carrying your groceries in from the car, you're gonna be sweating. That's from experience today. Let's get right into the most important news. I know you guys are waiting for us to talk about this, so let's first give a hand clap to Troy Bolton.
Yes, sir.
Bet on It has finally went platinum.
3 times All-American basketball player, 2-time Juilliard grad.
Come on now. Shout out to Troy, man. You deserve that. But next, Chris Rock is directing a Martin Luther King movie.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Don't know what the fuck that means. I don't even know if we're talking about the same Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
But
Question.
He's directing it.
Did you know Chris Rock directed movies?
No.
I didn't know either.
Did you know Chris Rock could direct a movie about Martin Luther King?
Nah.
So
Listen, shout out to him.
if somebody told me Chris Rock was directing a movie, I was like, oh, he's finna make a crazy comedy.
Yeah.
Like, he's stepping back from me. He want the young niggas to shine.
Yeah.
If you would have told me Chris Rock was directing an MLK movie, I would have been like, who the fuck is playing MLK?
Terry Crews.
All right, bro. Hey, I'll see y'all next week on episode 54. That's going to be it. If you want to know our NFL takes, just ask Dan Orlowski. He pretty much repeat everything I think.
Boycott. That's $7 worth of bus ticket. My fault.
That's $7 worth of bus ticket. Oh, my God. That is crazy.
Shout out Chris Rock, man.
Shout out to Chris Rock.
Man.
Oh, my God. Ooh. All right. B. Simone going to play Rosa Parks. And it's going to be Terry Crews.
What shorty I hate? The fried chicken shorty?
Fried chicken shorty.
She was on the Carmichael show.
I don't know her name. I know who you talking about.
Kevin Hart friend?
Yeah.
Old girl? Yeah.
Tiffany Haddish.
Yes. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Tiffany Haddish
Yeah.
gonna be who else? She gonna be
She gonna be Coretta.
She gonna be Tiffany Haddish, Terry Crews, and B. Simone. Come on, directed by Chris Rock, who is not tuned in. So
Yeah.
let's get into the actual news of the week. We if you did watch episode 53, you saw for all the dogs review.
Yeah.
This will kind of be mixed in. We'll kind of get back to that and start with Drake's message to Joe Budden.
Right.
Now, if you haven't had the time to read the message, actually stop right now.
Yeah. Should we read it?
And subscribe. You should absolutely read.
Oh, yeah. So
Pull
while
it up
I'm
and read
pulling
it.
that up,
you
y'all
guys
go
subscribe while he's pulling this up.
Yeah.
Subscribe, like, comment, go follow us on all the socials. Shout outs out on TikTok. If you would share any of the previous episodes, that's real too. So shout out to you guys. It's just gonna read this just in case y'all haven't heard it, and if you have heard it, you're gonna want to hear it again.
All right, bet. Let me get in my boy bag. All right. You have failed at music. At Joe Budden. I'll start over.
At Joe Budden.
At Joe Budden. You have failed at music. You left it behind to do what you were doing in this clip. Because this is what actually pays your bills. Gunshot. Boom, 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 boom. For any artist watching just remember you're watching a failure. Give their opinion on how to achieve longevity. You switch careers because the things that pop into your brain had you broke. Living check to check. That's check with Q's because he's from Canada.
Oh my God.
That nigga getting bilingual on you. That's French Canadian right there.
Come on now.
And the raps you write, this is really happy. This is really happy because I want to read this whole shit. He said, you have 450 men showing up to your shows in Dusty Einz jeans to screw their face up to Mood Music 29. Yo, listen, I won't read the whole thing. I don't know how Drake lawyers work. He might own that whole shit. Who knows? So we don't get copyright stricken. But first things first, reactions. Is Joe Budden right? Is Drake right? And is Drake sensitive? So I'm going to come out on a limb and say that Drake not right.
Okay. All right, you said it first. So I'll explain what he's saying.
Right.
Look, Drake. And
it's not because we're on podcast mics either.
And no, not at all. And these are not from Best Buy.
Yeah, it's not.
I will start off by saying, shout out Drake first.
Shout out Best Buy too.
And of course, I always shout out Best Buy. Please give us a discount.
Crazy straight.
So, Drake, you are the biggest artist in the world. Undoubtedly the biggest rapper in the world. Mm-hmm. You dropped your 4th album in 2 years. Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, Drake, very similar sound to the two other rap albums you dropped in this span. Mm-hmm. Very similar sound. You dropped 24 songs of an album you hyped up from city to city.
Yeah.
State to state.
Delaying tours, delaying
the album constantly. Y'all want the old Drake. I think you're going to get it on this album.
Yachty saying some of his best work on this album. Best verses he's ever written.
40's mixing the album. Yeah. I know you guys are going to love it.
Right.
Now look, you're Drake. This is your art. You're supposed to hype up your art. But the way you chose to hype up the art, the hype of the album, gives us a certain expectation for the music.
Randy.
When the expectation is not met, you do not have you have the right because you did it. But you should not be mad that people expected the album you said you were going to give. Mm-hmm. And when you don't give said album, and people say, hey, he didn't give us said album. He gave us a bunch of young nigga music, which this is.
Shout out to y'all.
This is a bunch of dirty macking young nigga music.
Hey, shout out to y'all niggas on Twitter pretending to not know what that means, by the way. That's probably been the funniest shit I've seen all week. Niggas like niggas acting like it's not a middle ground, like between what Drake is doing now and what Nas is doing. Niggas like, oh wow, y'all want him to get on here sound like Killer Mike? Like, no, bro. Like, can he just sound like himself? Yo.
So you get on Academics post. I don't know if anybody knows that yet. I don't even know if people said that. That was under Academics post of Joe Budden saying the 1 minute the minute and a half
tagged you on somebody else's post. Okay.
Tagged Joe Budden on another post and posted a 5-paragraph essay.
Right.
About Joe Budden being a broke nigga and a failed rapper. Now I'm gonna stop right there before I get back to you. If Joe Budden is a failed rapper, who is a successful rapper?
Talk.
If Joe Budden is a failed rapper and he's podcasting and he shouldn't be listened to, then who has the right to talk about music? If the rapper, the known DJ, I don't know, Joe Budden DJs, he doesn't DJ, but he has that esque. He is actually DJing, he doesn't. He has an AMP show where he plays music varies week to week. AMP just got canceled. Shout out to Amazon. Sorry about that. Y'all would have hired us, probably wouldn't have got canceled. But
hey, listen.
You're going to tell Joe Budden he can't speak about music.
Right.
In the same light, you going to tell these kids, yo, don't let a guy like this discourage you.
Right.
And then call him a failed rapper.
Yep. Why are you trying to discourage him?
Why are you trying to discourage him?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you telling a bunch of kids that this nigga who had one of the biggest records in the world that's still getting played to this day.
Yep.
has dropped multiple projects, has a cult fan base, has a cult classic. If Joe Budden said, yo, I'm going to go on a 10-city tour right now, it would sell out.
For sure he could. Be a lot of
he could do a podcasting rap tour where he pod for 2 hours and then do a show after.
The Podfather.
The Podfather.
Salute to Joe.
Have that type of stain, that type of pull. That's a failed rapper.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, don't listen to him. Mm-hmm. That don't make no sense to me, Drake. Because you discouraging a lot of people. So if everybody don't get to Drake, they a failed rapper. Right. If everybody don't get to Hove, they a failed rapper.
If Drake is the bar, everyone's a failed rapper.
If Drake is the bar, every single rapper has failed.
Including Drake right now.
Including Drake.
That's the point. That's what made me so mad was if you're the bar, even you're failing right now. Because you did $1 million first week, you doing $400K now. So can I say you a failure compared to yourself? No, I can't.
What are you talking about?
We'll actually get into that later. But
now back to just the Drake and what he said. Mm-hmm. So Drake said, it's not about that you don't like the music. It's about that you came from my character saying I'm fucking young girls and who I'm talking about, who I'm hanging out with, when you don't know that. Drake. Joe Budden said, stop fucking 25-year-olds. Do you understand on your album, you said, and she 25. Multiple times on the same song. Then you understand on another song, he didn't even mention this. You said, she young, so she don't even know the classics. I remember that. Couple bars later, you said, she 21, so she don't even know the classics. Or something of that nature, I'm paraphrasing. So you mentioned a 21-year-old, a 25-year-old. You have been on record saying multiple times, Lil Yachty, one of my best friends in the world. Yachty, one of my best friends in the world. You got a fucking interview. You don't interview with nobody. Yeah. You had an interview with Yachty. 30-minute interview out on the beach. Y'all took the time down to Turks and Caicos to go get podcasting equipment from Best Buy.
Yeah, shout out to Turks and Caicos Best Buy.
But Joe Budden can't make the simple observation and listen to the music and say, oh, he's talking about 20 to 25-year-old. And he's talking about Yachty, and all this music sound young. Maybe you should get away from the young people.
You pulling up to Kai Sinet crib.
You pulling up to Kai Sinet crib. Kai Sinet at the last 3 of your shows, you talking about, this my boy. Look, it's Kai Sinet, everybody.
Walking out
look.
with Kai Sinet. Oh, yeah. The kid.
But now you not hanging around with young niggas. It don't make sense, Drake.
Hey, listen, so I want to shout out Bask. I don't shout out Bask a lot on this show. Friend of the show, he tweeted as soon as it came out, he wouldn't have typed all that if that shit ain't hurt. That 25-year-old joint, that struck a nerve. Because everybody know, and listen, I won't say everybody know. If you care to know, you know that Drake ain't be on the younger side. Shout out Georgia Smith. Go listen to the words in Jaded. Go read that again. You know, that's not an older girl he's talking to. And Drake is always kind of, texting Millie Bobby Brown. Listen, Drake has always told a small line. So seeing him react like that to the 25-year-old bar, it's like, oh, yeah, that's strong.
That's struck a nerve.
Yeah, that's strong. That's
you got your feelings hurt.
Yeah.
What that message told me is you want validation from Joe.
Yeah.
You respect Joe's opinion of you. You know who Joe is. You have been on record multiple times saying Joe Budden has influenced you.
Yep, big fan.
You're a big fan of him.
Yeah, videos of you dick eating.
Y'all have had this little frenemy type relationship since 2015, 16. Y'all have dissed each other back and forth on records, but y'all also seen on Instagram Live together. Joe Budden be talking about y'all be DMing a little bit. So y'all have a frenemy relationship, but you obviously respect him. And you respect his opinion. And his opinion hurt.
Yeah.
But what confuses me is with all your money, all your power, and I listen to the Joe Budden podcast weekly. Like I'm subscribed to the Patreon, so I hear a lot of Joe Budden. So this I do know that Drake listens to the show. They said this on the show from a verified source. Drake listens to the show. So if you listen to the show, and you know, in this day and age in the internet, everything get clipped. Okay. Everything is clipped to make a story, to make a headline. To get you to click, just like Academics did. Shout out to Academics.
Right.
All you had to do was go listen to the 20 minutes where Joe spoke about the album.
Yeah. Because he said he liked the album.
He said he liked the album multiple times. He came in yesterday on the new podcast, said I like the album still.
Yep.
He said it just sounds like young niggas music. It's only a few songs I'm continuously go back to, but the music is fine.
Right.
We said the same thing. It's not a problem with what you did. It's how it was released. It's how it was presented. It was the feeling that you thought that you made us think we were going to get that we never got.
Right. Dropping the conductor shit first, like.
Yes. The single with SZA.
Yeah.
Although that record isn't a single type record, it made you feel like, oh shit, this kind of is
right.
Oh, Drake, are we getting this? And then you dropped the rap record. And
the
it's like,
two singles were very serious. Very serious. The two singles were the most serious songs on the album.
Other than maybe Drew Picasso.
Yeah.
So, like, 2 of your most 4 serious songs on the album, you released as singles. The rest of the album is young nigga shit. It's young kid shit. And that's okay. Because I love what Pluto do. I love it. The song with Sexy Red and SZA, I can't wait to hear that somewhere. I can't wait to hear that out somewhere. It's going to be so fun.
Yep.
But it's young nigga music. And that's okay if that's your bag.
Right.
But don't get mad at people for critiquing you. Because if you think you're above critique, then how can you grow?
So how did you react when you remembered Drake was almost 40? Because I ate completely.
Drake is 37.
Fam, I had no clue Drake was. I knew Drake, of course, Drake not our age, but I didn't know Drake was almost 40 until like people started talking about it on Twitter. Yeah, you're almost 40, dude. Like we're not, and you know, everybody go to the 444 type album. Like, fam, we don't need a 444 from you, Drake. No. And shout out to Yeat. I listen to Yeat music, but like, we got 4 features and 3 of them young niggas. And the other one, you ain't even put a verse on the song with Cole. Like, you was kind of just there. I 100% agree with Joe Payton. The young girl shit really got underneath his skin.
It struck a nerve. The young,
because he didn't have a plan for a while and ain't threw it in nobody's face. So yeah, it definitely hurt.
Yeah,
but I think what made it sting so bad was like he really when you know it's true, that's when it really hurts. Because Drake, one of the most successful rappers we'll ever see, one of the most talented rappers we'll ever see. And because of that, I know he knows he could go 15 songs, 8 a.m. in Charlotte of amazing music.
Thank you.
But he doesn't need to.
No.
And he doesn't have to. And salute to him. If I could make that much money, just making regular songs, doing my thing.
Having fun with my friends in the studio.
I would too.
Yeah.
But the thing is, in your heart of hearts, when niggas tell you, oh yeah, this is disappointing, you didn't do your best. Ray Lewis said this, the only person that can judge your effort is you. That's between you and the nigga in the mirror. And for you to respond like that, you ain't really do it. And that's why he was so mad.
And I think I have been on record multiple times saying I think Drake has some ridiculous deal. Yeah. I think Drake has a ridiculous deal because when you look at the bottom of his albums, they don't say like owned by. Yeah. They say distributed to.
Right.
And I think Drake signed a close to $500 million deal to get 4 or 5 albums out, and that's why he got the music out in that way.
Right.
Again, I don't have a problem with it. And I said, if you would have said For All the Dogs was a playlist to hold us over for the next couple years while you take a break, I think it's completely different. The way it is received is completely different. But you made this album something that made us think this album was something that it just wasn't.
Right.
And like you said, Drake is not an idiot. If anything, Drake is a musical genius.
Literally.
If anything.
Right.
So he knows when Joe says, get away from these young niggas and get around some folks your age so the music starts sounding like that. Drake knows that's true.
Yeah.
Drake knows the type of music people want from him. And that hurt Drake because the last thing, one of the important things about this is it would be one thing if somebody on the internet commented in one of our YouTube videos like, this show sucked.
Right.
It would be another thing if Joe Budden came and told us y'all niggas don't got it.
Yeah. Like if Joe came in and was like, yo, y'all cut the mics off.
A rapper telling you that this shit not it, it strike a different nerve.
Yeah. Because
that's the only people you really want your validation from is the other good rappers.
Yeah. Your peers.
Your peers.
And that's it. And the thing, and the last thing that probably made the nigga so mad is like, Joe's a better rapper than him. For the people listening, Drake makes way better music than Joe Budden. He'll be a way bigger artist than him forever. But pure rapping and making good music are not as connected as people believe.
No.
And as a pure rapper, as Joe said in the clip the other day, He's one of the best in the world, no matter what room I'm in. No matter who's in the room, Joe Budden's one of the best rappers in the room.
And he should feel that way.
He 1,000% should feel that way. And like you said, he would know. Like, he would know. Man, dang. Shouts to my Family Guy. Shouts to my Family Guy viewers in here. It reminds me of the episode where Brian and Stewie both wrote a book. You remember that episode? And Brian's book was going crazy, so Stewie wrote one, and he read it, and it broke him. Like, oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to haunt you. It's going to hurt you because you know it's not as good as it should be. Right. You know it's just another level that you're just not at.
No.
And for one of your peers, like, I can't, you know, it's nothing else. Like, it's so reactionary to, like, oh my God, I'm defensive, you know?
And the funniest part about all of this is Drake responding to that is the reason Drake is Drake.
Yeah.
His sensitivity.
Right.
His the way he takes things personal. There's a word for that, but I'm missing it and blanking. The way he takes things personal and his sensitivity makes his music what it is.
Yeah.
The audacity.
Yeah, the nerve.
The type that Drake is who was in that post.
Facts.
And so it's very similar to Kanye getting on stage and going on rants.
Facts.
Hey, that's why Kanye is Kanye.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It's very similar to another rapper with an example I blinked on, but you get what I'm saying.
Like how Tyler get on Twitter and tell niggas like shut the fuck up. Like
that's why Tyler is Tyler. It's the same thing. Ross, all the flashy money shit. It's Rob Ross is Ross and built the brand he did.
It's like how Hov not on Twitter but know everything Twitter say.
All of this plays into why Drake is Drake, and so it's entertaining. I love it. I, for one, am happy he did it. I saw people like Drake shouldn't have done this. Like, yeah, he shouldn't have, but shit. Like
I thought it was
like
cool.
It's like if I'm the biggest rapper in the world and I want to say something, and like, why wouldn't
I? I didn't mind it. I mean, I'm gonna tell him no. I'm gonna tell him not to.
It would be different if he did this to like an up and coming podcast.
Yeah.
But you did this to the biggest, best podcaster in the world.
See, that I would have a problem.
And a guy that you have been done this with.
Yeah, right.
So if you would have attacked some young up and coming podcast, that would have been mad weird.
I will say, pocket checking niggas always looks better when both people are rich.
Exactly.
Like that one always looks better. When you call a nigga broke who's actually not broke.
Exactly.
Like that one always hits better. Like,
it's like how much offense can you really take to like Drake being richer than you?
Yeah.
Like it's like nigga, I know.
Yeah. So, nigga,
okay. You richer than a lot of niggas. Like, fuck you. I don't care.
Right.
But yeah. So shout out to Drake. I do want to ask. And if you are a first-time listener, thank you for listening. I hope you stick around.
Welcome to
But
us.
on this show, we love to talk about when we write. Last week, we had a conversation about Drake not having a magnum opus as an album, and I know a lot of you are going to hear that if you didn't hear last week's episode and say nothing was the same with his magnum opus, or if you're Tyrone, you're going to say thank me later. We said Drake doesn't have a magnum opus because a magnum opus to us is a rap album that comes at the height of your career. It's an undisputed classic. Everybody, it stops the world's Carter 3, Blueprint, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Teflon Don, albums of that, Good Kid, Mad City, albums of that nature. I think that the conversation surrounding Drake and the disappointment in the album further proves our point.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Because if Drake had given us that moment, that undisputed, nobody would give a fuck about Drake dropping mid. Because let me tell you somebody, my favorite rapper in the world, Lil Wayne.
Yep.
Lil Wayne drops music, and if you like it, you see people tweet about it.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, people just act like you'll never see what is Lil Wayne doing. Why is he still doing it? You may say you might see a Lil Wayne needs to retire tweet or something like that.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna see nobody be like, oh, I wish Wayne would give us because he's done that. I think people are still waiting for that album from Drake that is like, fuck, that's what we've been waiting on.
That's crazy. So I didn't know, I didn't know this would be the topic. But selfishly, I've been pretty right about this for like 5 or 6 years.
You have. Yeah.
When Views first dropped and it ended up being what it was, I was telling niggas then, oh yeah, this is the beginning of the other side of it. And of course, I could get, niggas will throw stones. But over time, it's become very easy to see, because what I used to do is like, all right, if you don't think he declining, rank Drake albums. And his new albums are always at the end. And now we're 10, how many projects in, and the ranking is still the same at the top. No matter who you are, your first 5 are going to be the same first 5 from early on his career. Mm-hmm. And then your last ones are going to be all the new stuff. And that is what is driving people to seek out the big one, like like girls be like, oh yeah, she did her big one, like one of those, like, raise the trophy, I'm finals MVP, this year of rap is mine. We haven't got that from Drake. Drake's best, some of Drake's best years, he didn't have the best album, and that's for a lot of those years. Even the earlier years with nothing was the same. Like,
that wasn't the undisputed best album that year.
Literally. So it's very frustrating for people to, especially Drake fans, to try to navigate this, because there has been so much good music sprinkled in post that time, but no big project that's like, oh yeah, he's a made man. This is this. Like, even if like he would continue to drop bad music, like you said, like, you still have this to fall back on. Like, when you have those couple, like, it's like, okay, he still made this though. Like when Kendrick dropped Mr. Morale, some people liked it, some people didn't, but like, okay, he got too classic.
Yeah.
So niggas aren't like, man, I wish Kendrick would do this. No, he's already done it. And that is probably the biggest thing as we hit I don't want to say the downslope of Drake's career, but like, Drake got outsold this year. Let that sink in, that Drake did not have the best-selling rap album this year, and by a very comfortable margin. And it wasn't from an album that changed life. Utopia, crazy big album. Travis Scott, crazy big artist. But it's not something that was chock full of hits.
Not even a little bit.
Like, he got outsold comfortably. We are entering a different time, and as all things come up, they will come down. And we've never seen somebody as big as Drake. But when his numbers came out, I really sat there. I was like, man, we're almost at the point where Drake is, back to being another one of the biggest rappers.
Yeah.
Because for
instead
a long
of the
time,
biggest
he
rapper.
was the rapper, the biggest rapper. People did not drop around Drake for those reasons. But now we're getting closer and closer. And LeBron in LA was still giving you 28 a night, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. And Drake, he still gonna give you 350K, couple hits.
Probably go number 1 on something.
Go number 1 on a couple
10
joints.
10
Right.
in the top 100. Like, he's
Exactly.
still gonna do all of that.
But that million first weekdays, those days behind us.
That undisputed classic album days. Those days are I think are behind us. The thing is, I hear 8 a.m. in Charlotte, and then I hear 7 a.m. in Bridle Path, and I hear these songs from last year, and I hear Middle of the Ocean, I hear Jumbotron, I hear these songs, and I'm like, nah, Drake can still give us one.
Oh yeah,
I just don't know if label-wise, financially, it's just in his best interest to do that because of how many markets he feeds. He has to feed the overseas market,
right,
the R&B market, the rap market, the women, the hard niggas. Like, he has to fulfill so many different avenues. Yeah. It may be impossible for him to produce this album that we're talking about. And before we move off of this, I do want to mention, we know who Drake is. Drake is in my top 5 ever, easy. Top 5, top 7 ever.
Drake, my second favorite artist.
Like, bro, like Drake is my second, third favorite artist. Him and Kanye flip depending on the week. But like, we know who he is, and I love Drake. I listen to Drake every single day. Before this podcast started, I was listening to the album. This is not a shit on Drake segment. Yeah, this is just, every artist is missing a little something,
Yeah.
except for maybe Hove.
Right, yeah.
like everybody's missing a little something. So it's not a shot that he don't got this magnum opus. Like we know, Nothing Was the Same was a classic. So Far Gone is a classic mixtape. Her Loss may be a modern day classic after 2 or 3 years. Like we don't know yet. Like he is him. I don't want you to think that's we not saying. I don't want y'all to turn this off. Be like, these niggas think Drake not him. Like no, he is him. He just don't got that album. And if you think about it, go back and listen to it. Go back and listen to his discography and tell me. It said it last show. 2016 Views was supposed to be the magnum opus. Yep. That was supposed to be the moment. Mm-hmm. And it's not, because that album is not an undisputed classic. That is not a perfect album. Now, some people think it is. Some Drake fans think it is. Mm-hmm. The highs on that album are magnum opus highs. Yeah. Magnum opus highs, without a doubt. But as a project, as a whole, it's not. Yeah. And that is simple as that. But speaking of people not dropping around Drake, we'll let you know, the Drake effect isn't to the height it used to be, because Offset is coming a week after him. Mm-hmm. And people did not drop the week before, and people did not drop the week after Drake.
You had to give Drake 3 weeks.
You had to give Drake 3 weeks, damn, sometimes a month. Like when Certified Lover Boy came out 2 years ago, or that was 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. I don't think nobody dropped the album for 3 weeks after.
Scorpion too.
Scorpion was like that as well. Yeah. So you see, it's kind of getting back to like what it said. Well, for as long as Drake is dropping music, honestly, unless he gets to like 50 or something, for the next 5 or 6 years, he's going to be one of the 3 or 4 biggest rappers on earth. Fact. But he is not. I don't think he is the biggest rapper of biggest rappers right now. Yeah. I think it's a collecting of him, Cole, Kendrick, and Travis. Right. And I throw Tyler in there, to be honest. Yeah. So, Offset dropping in 4 hours. Yep. What are you expecting?
I think it's going to bang for real. I really don't know it's going to be concept-wise, feature-wise, but I really like what I've heard.
I love it, bro.
Offset's a great rapper.
Amazing.
Offset's a great rapper. Favorite Migo. Niggas was reminiscing on the Migos era yesterday, ironically enough, and everybody has those memories.
Of course.
Us being from Atlanta, it's a little different, of course. But of course. I think it's gonna be really good.
Me too, bro. Yeah. Me too. I'm really excited to see. I'm really excited to hear the album as a album. Right. And what I mean by that is we speak a lot about albums being playlists now, albums being mixtapes now. This, to me, feels like it will be an album. He hasn't released a track list yet. I'm sure by the time we get done recording, our track list will probably be out. So if he does release it, we'll try to get to it. But I know Don Toliver is on the album. He said Cardi didn't clear their feature, so he probably won't be on the album. But from what I've heard, the snippets I've heard, it sounds amazing. I am interested to see how Offset put this body of work together. Yeah. Because I was listening to Offset's interview. I was listening to Offset interview on The Breakfast Club, and he was talking about how he is trying to become a show. He is trying to become an act where you can always sell tickets. He's looking at the rock stars, and he's looking at Usher, and he's looking at Adele, how she's able to go to Vegas, how Usher's able to go to Vegas and do all of it. He wants to have a show that people are always going to want to see. And that is the type of artist he is trying to become. And when you are setting that as your goal, the music has to come with that. I don't give a fuck how good your show is. Your music is ass. You ain't selling no tickets. Exactly. So he has the group stuff, and the first album has some stuff people will know, but I expect this album to be the beginning of a 5-6 year run where Offset is looked at as like, oh no, he's one of the best in the world. Yeah. This is what I expect from that album. That is how good I expect this album to be. Is after this album, we're going to be looking at Offset in that next tier with Lil Baby and Gunna. And I know he's older than them, but as far as his solo career, it's damn near it started around the same time as them. So that is what I'm expecting from the album. But the rollout is crazy. The video he put the video he posted today, the fake Joker thing blowing up the building, fire. The cover, both the covers have been fire. Mm-hmm. The interviews have been great.
I've loved the interviews. Offset a cool dude for real. Yeah, he was talking about Cardi not clearing the feature. It was like, man, you gotta know your niggas for real. Know your niggas,
that's like a real nigga response, bro.
Gotta know your niggas,
just gotta know him, bro. Like, it's whatever, dog. So shout out to Offset, man. I'm really looking forward to this. I will be medicated, and I cannot wait. Kanye, listen to Party. Do you believe it?
No, it's not gonna happen.
Simple as that. Okay. I do want to give a quick shout out to the Braves. They went crazy this year. Shout out to Acuna. He's going to win the MVP. They are down 2-1 in the LODS. The game starts in 10 minutes. So hopefully they win tonight and send it back to Atlanta on Saturday. Chop. But if not, we still chopping on and we'll be ready for next season. Whatever happens, happens. So Y'all know what time it is.
Yes.
Let's get back into football, man. NFL Week 5, we will review before we get into Week 6. The first question I've been very excited to ask is coming off of that Sunday night game, the beatdown they gave to the Cowboys, Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
People have been the constant conversation has been around Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey. Both are looking like, damn, maybe one of them should be the MVP. Should Christian McCaffrey be the MVP? Is all of this happening because of the versatility that Christian McCaffrey does display? Or is this happening because Brock Purdy is really like that?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, 5 weeks in, what are your thoughts on Brock Purdy?
I think he's nice for real. I ain't gonna lie. I think he's nice. And that's not what's written on the question, but the way me and Daniel both think, the question really is, Purdy nice for real?
Yeah, pretty much.
And I really think he is. I really think he is because of the type of throws he's making that Jimmy G didn't. Jimmy G didn't throw a deep pass as a 49er for like 2 years. Brock Purdy's already doing it, and the throws he is making already, like you said, week 5, I rehabbed all offseason. I didn't have an offseason to learn. He has not missed a beat. He's apparently still, he had surgery on his arm. So his arm is still getting better, still getting right. But he has the tools for a quarterback. That's probably one of your most important tools to have, where he processes things extremely quickly.
Right.
Which is so important as a quarterback because everything you do as a quarterback almost has to be fundamentally sound unless you're Patrick Mahomes or one of those people who just don't care about it.
Yeah.
Like for regular like Brock Purdy is the perfect guy for you to put on film and watch if you were a young quarterback. Or if you 100%. Were trying to learn how to play quarterback, you would put him on because he's not the fastest, not the strongest, not the craziest arm. But what he does is he plays on time. He plays into his reads, and his mechanics are always sound to what he's trying to do. So even though he's not the best quarterback and he doesn't have the strongest arm, his footwork is always perfect. His throws, the way he's throwing them, they look so great because his base is always square. His toe is always pointed where he's throwing. Like all the little quarterback stuff you need to learn, the nuances, he does. And the reason he does is because he was a 4-year starter in college. Like these quarterbacks, especially now where you're in middle school, I want to be a quarterback. All right, QB camp. High school, QB camp. 4 years it starts. Dropping back for 4 years throwing the ball. Then I'm going to go to college and drop back and pass the ball for 4 years. He has seen so many reps where he's not learning to play the quarterback position. He's more so learning how to play it in the NFL. If that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense.
So if you watch some of these younger quarterbacks where you're trying to teach, like even some of the good quarterbacks like C.J. Stroud or we can, of course, Justin Fields, they're still trying to learn little things as a quarterback that keeps you successful. Where he seems to, whether it's, of course, Kyle Shanahan, maybe the best play caller in the league, and, his bevy of starts, he kind of has that innately already. Where you see him go, no, yes. And every step of the way, feet are square, shoulders are square, good throw. Especially Purdy, especially because he plays with great anticipation. You'll see it with Tua sometimes where you anticipate a throw, and of course you're anticipating, so it may not go exactly where you want. You see very few of the what type of throws from Purdy. Mm-hmm. And even his misses, you see, okay, this is the play. This is the route. It's on time. You're just not going to complete every pass.
Exactly.
But I thought he's looked great, especially, listen, he ripped the Cowboys apart.
Ripped them apart, man. It's hit everything that I was going to say, so I'm not going to just repeat them. The last thing I will say is he doesn't turn the ball over. Yeah. My answer to the question is yes, by the way. Brock Purdy is for real.
We support Brock Purdy on this show.
I came into this season saying, I don't know. Right. I said they're going to go 14-3. They're going to go 13-4. They're going to win a bunch of games. Their start to the season, not surprised about. Him playing well, I'm not surprised about. I said playoff time, I will become worried about him. Those worries are gone. Yeah. And it's because he doesn't turn the ball over. Mm-hmm. If Brock Purdy was 11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions right now, and they were 5-0, people wouldn't be talking about him like they were. Yeah. It's the fact that he is surgical. He is surgical. And part of that, again, is Kyle Shanahan is amazing. Right. You throw Brock Purdy in Chicago right now, people are like, all right, he can never play football again. Facts. But like we say, where you land in the NFL matters more than anything. Facts. So because he is in the situation around all this talent, he doesn't make the mistake, and that was the problem with Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Jimmy G would be perfect for 3 quarters,
And then make
but
the
Ash Ish would say, you know he's going to press the Jimmy G button.
Exactly.
At some point, he's going to press the Jimmy G button. Even if he don't do it this game, when we get to this NFC Championship, he going to press the Jimmy G button. When we get to the Super Bowl, he going to throw the wide open route 10 yards over the nigga head.
Exactly.
He is going to press that Jimmy G button at somewhere along the way. Right now, it looks like Brock Purdy will not do that. Yeah. It looks like Brock Purdy is going to do everything Kyle asks of him, and when he needs to be a coach on the field, he is capable of doing that.
Right.
Well, looking at Jimmy G now, you see him in Vegas. He looks ridiculous. Yeah. He looks like he don't know how to play football.
Terrible player. Yeah.
Shout out to Kyle Shanahan,
bro.
You see how much of a like damn near a player on the field Kyle Shanahan is.
Yeah.
Like just like it's a cheat code to have him as a coach. Literally. Damn near, man. The Brock Purdy is throwing to wide open receivers a lot of the times, but when he does need to make that tough throw, he can make it.
1,000%.
And the last thing I'll say about him that I love, he's great in the red zone.
Oh yeah.
That is really important for quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen has that problem right now.
Yep.
The Buffalo Bills have that problem right now. They're bad in the red zone.
Dak.
The Eagles are having that problem right now. They're bad in the red zone. Dak has that problem. He's bad in the red zone. Being a phenomenal red zone player and not turning the ball over, I think Patrick Mahomes had 24 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in the red zone. Something ridiculous like that. I'm paraphrasing. I'm not sure if that was the exact number, but it was something ridiculous of that nature. Brock Purdy is creeping into that territory of I just will never turn the ball over in the red zone. So either we're going to get 3 or we're going to get 7 every single time we get past the 40.
Facts.
Every time we get past the 30-yard line, we're getting some points. And that's the difference between winning games, winning Super Bowls. Yeah. And not to mention, they got the best defense in football. They also got that defense over there. So I wanted to ask you, what made Sean Payton think he was 95, Jordan? And if you don't know what that means, Jordan came back from retirement.
Yep.
And went straight to the finals and did his finals MVP, did all of that shit again.
Yep.
Sean Payton thought he was finna touchdown in Denver and get us right back to the playoffs, right back to the championship game. He thought he was 95, Jordan,
said,
and unfortunately,
he said, if we don't make the playoffs, I'll be disappointed. He said that for the year. I'm
Wait,
glad.
Before you go,
Yeah.
do you know Russ is second in the league in touchdown passes?
Yes. They've actually scored almost all their opening drives. I think Sean Payton has done really good on offense, kind of. But what has happened to that Broncos defense in less than 12 months?
Disgusting.
And
shout out to you again because you did say them losing Vic Fangio would be a problem.
I hate to hate, or actually don't hate to hate on Sean Payton. I'm going to hate to hate on Bill Belichick because it's going to be about both of them. But we are waking up in the NFL where Sean Payton, Bill Belichick,
that's crazy.
These older coaches we really had, man, a Sean Payton coach team, yeah, they'll be ready to play. A Bill Belichick coach team, ready to go. Those aren't the 5 best coaches in the league anymore. You'd be hard pressed if you remove their names to make an argument. And the difference is the NFL moves very fast. And for you to think you could take a year off, be in the booth when you already weren't a good defensive coach, and then just return, he's in for a rude awakening. They're going to play in about 15 minutes, and they're going to get 50 hung on them because it's not the old days anymore. The way you used to play when you had Drew Brees, shout out to Drew Brees, you can't play anymore. You can't have a mediocre defense, hope to get a couple of turnovers, and your offense is so good that
because Drew Brees gonna go for 100,000 yards.
Right. The difference is you don't have Drew Brees at quarterback, and these offenses will not stop unless you stop them. That is the biggest difference. Offenses now are so efficient. Either you have a great defense or you're probably gonna lose. It's not many teams competing anymore with mediocre to bad defenses. Miami scored 70. And they're not undefeated. They have multiple losses. They got blown off the field the next week. It's not enough to just score points anymore. And you're not scoring enough points in the first place. I think listen, it's going to be a tough year. It's going to be a tough year in Denver, bro.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough year. I think the biggest mistake Sean Payton made this year was not finding the best defensive coordinator possible. I don't think he did that. I think when Vic Fangio left, he should have gotten a guy. I don't know if he did this. Now, he might have did this, but I think he should have pretty much let Vic Fangio hire his next coach. Like, hey, who is similar to you?
Yeah.
So I can just kind of let that defense go.
Exactly.
Because they're losing games because they can't stop anybody. Like,
150.
Russ is fine. Russ is not bad. Russ is not 2013 Russ no more. Russ is not an MVP candidate Russ no more. But he is
he trying
a 14 to 20 quarterback, which you can live with if you have a decent defense.
Facts.
You can live with if you have a run game. So
can't run the ball.
As you said, I think it's going to be a long season for them because they're going to be asking Russ to be Michael Jordan. They're going to be asking Russ to be somebody he's not anymore. And they're asking these receivers to play above their level. They're asking Russ to play above his usual level. They're asking the running backs to run above their usual level. And they're asking their defense to be what they were last year, not knowing they lost one of their best pass rushers and they lost their defensive coordinator. So it's just a recipe for disaster. I didn't have them winning that many. I think I had them win 7 to 8 games this year. So I think they'll still do that, win 7 to 8 games. But Sean Payton lost to the Jets. After you said Nathaniel Hackett had one of the worst coaching jobs ever, you lost to him.
Yeah.
With Zach Wilson at quarterback.
Zach
Wilson didn't even throw a touchdown and you lost.
Right now, they're a worse team than they were last year.
100%.
And that's probably the worst part about it for Sean Payton.
I think they are because I think
they were in
games last year.
The record last year is better last year, and they were better, of course, across the board, everything on defense. But their offense, like compared to last year, it's not a significant enough jump to justify losing the defense like that. Because especially this is what I found so starting was rarely do you see a defense that's bad at everything. Usually you'll see, oh yeah, they can't do this. They can't stop the run. Okay, cool. But okay in the pass. Or they can't stop the pass. They can't stop the pass. Okay, run defense. This defense is last in everything. There's nothing you do well. You don't tackle, you don't cover, which is concerning to me. Like you have at worst the third best corner in the league. On his worst day, PS2 is a top 3 corner, and you can't stop anything. You can't. It's almost mind boggling. But history does wipe away some of our failures, but people forget the Saints were 8-8 3 straight times with Drew Brees, and it wasn't because of offense. The problems of his past are following him in Denver. And now, unlike the NFC South, it's definitely, the best player we've ever seen in your division, and then Justin Herbert. So whatever you want to call Justin Herbert. Whether you want to call Justin Herbert a star, a great regular season player, whatever, they're going to play well.
And Devontae Adams still ain't lost a rep.
And Devontae damn sure ain't lost a rep. Shout out to Devontae Adams, but Denver, it's going so downhill.
Yeah.
100%. It's going so downhill.
100%. A little more positive things. I want to ask you real quick, just because I know you've been paying attention to him. CJ Stroud, bro.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
We spoke about this last week, so I won't stay on it too long, but I just wanted to mention again, I love everything they're doing. I watched the Falcons game again this week, and they just don't have the roster. Like, they're just not good enough yet. But the way they're letting him just say, hey, we can't run the ball.
Yeah.
We can't stop nobody.
Right. Yeah.
So we finna throw this bitch 40, 50 times a game.
Yep.
And he has not thrown a pick in 5 games. And he's at like 37 attempts again.
Yeah, he broke the record.
Broke the record.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous, bro.
I think, especially in the context of what you mentioned, how they can't run the ball, missing offensive linemen. We're missing
half of it. It's half of his offensive line.
Because Damian Pierce is a good, and once they get that offensive line back, they'll be able to run. But for the team to come to you your first 5 weeks and be like, yeah, you need to carry us right now. Right now, we need you to carry us. Because half our offensive line not here. Damian Pierce can't run the ball. You need to drop back and throw us to victories, and that's what he's doing. And shout out to Atlanta. That's a great defense. That's not no slight team.
No.
And you were right there. I think C.J. Stroud looks great. Same thing with Purdy. Great decision maker. But what you also see is the wow.
He got an arm.
Yeah.
He got natural just pop off the scream arm talent.
Yeah, like, whoa, he threw that.
Oh, shit. Oh, God, yeah. Trevor got an arm like that in my opinion.
Hell yeah.
Trevor got an arm like where he throws some throws. You like, what the hell?
Yeah, like, oh, shit, he let that go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Prayers up for Anthony Richardson. He got put on IR. The
Prayers
Colts
up for my fantasy team.
I love the way the Colts started off to use Anthony Richardson, and I love what I saw from Anthony Richardson. But somebody has to get in his ear and tell him, "Yo, you gotta go down.
Yeah.
Like these niggas is big as you. Like I know you're bigger than every quarterback in the league, but them defensive linemen you running head on with, them linebackers you run, they big as you, bro.
Right.
Like, they strong as you, bro. So
And
stop
the thing is, and this is less true now because you do see older running quarterbacks, but Wise Man once said it's a lot of young running quarterbacks. It's very few old running quarterbacks in the league.
Exactly.
Like what you eventually you have to transition to is like the Mahomes. We didn't mention Mahomes like 8 times, but the Mahomes of I'm gonna run when I need to run, and when I do need to run, I'll get down. We're gonna call the design runs. I don't need to drop the shoulder every design run. We got 6 yards. That's better than a regular run play. Let's go ahead, slide down. But man, Anthony Richardson, he's missed. He's been taken out, I think, 2 or 3 of his first 5 starts. Definitely want to see him, honestly, physically keep maturing because he's a young dude. Physically. Like he's still growing as a person. So I think, especially early going on IR, they'll have to like, fam, you're an investment. We drafted you very high. Like,
You're a $250 million investment.
Dead ass. Like you need to protect yourself in a way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I want to. Is there anything from Week 5 we missed that was? Lamar.
Yeah.
So if
7 drops.
if you guys didn't see ESPN asked the question of Lamar playing up to the contract, and I want to go to First Take. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith. Please have us on the show. No disrespect at all, but that's one of the worst questions I've ever seen posted on that show, and I've seen a lot of bad questions.
No, that one was real shameless. It was real shameless because we went 4 weeks of you being able to ask that about Joe Burrow,
and you did. Thank you.
And you fucking
thank
did.
you.
That's why it was so shameless.
Justin Herbert is 2-2.
That, like you could have easily asked that at any. And you know when that first made me so mad.
Josh Allen is 3-2.
When it made me first so mad is I think the Ravens lost week 2. They lose week 2, and ESPN after the Bengals had lost week 1 and the Chargers had lost week 1. I'm pretty sure. Week 2, the Bengals and Chargers lost again, and then the Ravens lost. And then ESPN put on Instagram $750 million worth of QBs, 0-3 this week. And I was like,
Wonder why you didn't do that last week.
Where was the $500 million post? Where, like it's so many quarterbacks making this money. Josh Allen too. I was like, man, listen, Josh Allen's sticking it up. It's not like Josh Allen get paid pennies. Like a lot of these people are going through it, but it was, I don't know. That topic is especially annoying because like you just had to not watch the game, I guess.
Well, 1,000,000%. Like
Yeah.
I watched that entire game. Their receivers and coaching lost them this game. It was not Lamar Jackson. The strip sack was not even close to his fault. Your line got a block. He's mid-throw. Like, there's nothing he can do about that. He can't feel that. That's his blind side. You pay a left tackle that much money to stop that from happening. The fade route to Odell. Why are you throwing a fade route to Odell?
Yeah.
I could understand if we had flashes from 2014-15 Odell.
Yeah, coming off an injury.
And my nigga was week 10 and week 11. He had 700-800 yards. He'd been our number 1 receiver the last few weeks. Yo, he came off an injury and had 1 reception that game. Why are you throwing him a fade? Right. If you want to get him a ball and try to get him in the end zone, all right, cool. Run him on a drag. Get him something where he can really use his
just let
route
him one-on-one
running
like
ability.
he did on the Rams.
Yeah. Why are you running a fade?
Yeah.
And then why are you running a fade from shotgun?
Yeah.
You're supposed to run a fade from under center so the timing is right.
Yep.
Now, I will say it was a bad throw. It was a bad throw. It was a little inside. It was a bad throw, a little inside. But the route was worse than the throw.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't have ran the play. It was a bad play from begin with. And then at the end of the half, why are you trying to get them to jump off sides?
Yeah.
It's 13 seconds left. What are you doing?
What are we gaining from this? Yeah.
What are we gaining from this? It was 13 seconds left. Kenny Pickett could not move the ball.
Right.
And y'all were about to go up by 10 points and get the ball back coming out of halftime.
Yeah.
Kick the field goal.
Justin
Lastly.
Best kicker ever on the roster.
With Justin Tucker on the roster. Lastly, why are you all out blitzing?
Yeah. Kenny Pickett. Someone who can't pass anyway.
Kenny Pickett hadn't been picking apart your defense by any stretch of the imagination. Right. They had until the fourth quarter, they could not move the ball.
Yeah.
Why, in the last moments of the game, are you all out blitzing somebody and leaving your corner that just came off an injury with a receiver that's been hot all day and the only one that's been touching the ball.
Say it, yeah. But you know what? We don't call for coaches' jobs, and I'm not gonna call for dude job because the Ravens defense been playing real well.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't. Right now you're cool, bro. But if you would have left George Pickens 1-on-1 with the game on the line in my locker room, I would have pulled you to the side after. And I was the fuck is your problem, my nigga? What are you doing? This George Pickens. You left him 1-on-1 twice. It's George Pickens, bro.
And it worked both times.
They didn't
for the Steelers.
They didn't even run the route. They didn't even run the route. It was like, George Pickens, just run. Just keep going. We'll throw it to you. Just keep going. It wasn't no hitch at the top. I'm going to run downfield, and this person is not good enough to stop me.
And he was not.
That's the thing. Especially for these young QBs, bro. Like, why would you make it easier? Because when you're all out blitzing and
everybody knows.
And you're blitzing from depth, so they're going to pick it up. D knows George Pickens is 1-on-1. As a young QB, there's nothing I would probably want more than to get to the line and think, okay, I know exactly what this defense is doing. Once this ball is hiked, I know exactly where I'm going to go. And, thank my lucky stars. Like I said, life's not fair. I'm going to drop back and throw to a receiver who either going to catch it or this ball is going to be incomplete. Because you're not out jumping George Pickens for a pass. And, shout out to Marlon Humphrey. You did your best, but that's George Pickens, fam.
So
that's a dog.
I did want to come in here and say this about the Steelers.
Yeah.
Before we get to week 6, I did want to come in here and say this about the Steelers. Kenny Pickett play football. They got a quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to get off of him for a while.
It's Matt Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched every snap of that game, and I was really watching, like, does Kenny have, like, a shaky? Is he shaky? Is he unconfident? Can he not throw the ball? No. He can throw. He doesn't have the best arm in the world, but he can throw the ball. He can get the ball. Similar to Brock Purdy. I think he has a little bit better arm than Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
He seems confident. He's mobile.
Yeah.
And when the play is designed to get the ball out quick, he is capable of doing that.
Yeah.
I think the longer you have Matt Canada in that building, the more detrimental the more detriment you're adding to Kenny Pickett's career and to your franchise. Mm-hmm. When your fans are at a hockey game chanting fire your offensive coordinator, nigga, most offensive coordinators you don't know.
No clue who it is.
You don't unless
I didn't know who the Falcons coordinator was until like last week.
Unless you're the Chief and like you're like Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid was just a duo you always mention.
Like literally unless you're like a Super Bowl level team,
like you don't know who the offensive coordinator is.
Right.
Who is the offensive coordinator of the Texans right now? Somebody tell me.
No clue.
People are at a hockey game on a Wednesday.
Shout out Pittsburgh Penguins.
Shouting out, fire Matt Canada.
Yeah.
Fire Matt Canada.
Yeah.
That's hard, too, by the way. Shout out to the Pittsburgh fans. That's called dedication.
That's hate, for real.
That's real hate.
Like, how did we even get to that point at a different sport?
Bro, like, who started that?
Like a stadium full of niggas be like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
I can get behind this.
Yeah. He talking that talk.
So, I say that to say, like, I think they should, at the bye week, they should let Matt Canada go. Right. Bring in an offensive coordinator and start preparing. Like, try to get to the playoffs this year because, funny enough, they're leading the AFC North because they beat Baltimore.
Right.
Baltimore is 3-2. They're 3-2, but they have the tiebreaker against them. And the Bengals are 2-3, I think. 2-3. And the Browns are 2-3 as well. So, look, man, Kenny Pickett can play football, and that I am happy to say. I don't like when quarterbacks suck because it's so hard. It's like, damn, why do you suck? But so
it's like niggas climbing a mountain. Like, damn, you died on the way up.
Yeah, like it's one of them. Like, so NFL Week 6, man.
Yep.
We got a couple of good games. The Monday night game, I think, is the best game of the week. Honestly, I think the Cowboys Giants is a overreaction waiting to happen. But we'll start from the top at the 1 o'clock games. 49ers Browns. Deshaun Watson, I don't know if he's playing yet. I think they're saying his shoulder wakes up and is in pain some days, and some days it's not, which is crazy. Yeah. We don't have to speak too much on this. How many points are the 49ers score?
I think it'll be a good game for them.
I do too.
Because I think the Browns' defense is better than people think.
Yes, it is.
I think the 49ers end up scoring about 31 points, though, off maybe 2 pick sixes. Mm-hmm. Like, I think I would not be surprised if whether or not Deshaun Watson plays. I want to say that out loud. Whether or not he plays. That defense is going to maul them alive.
Fred Warner.
Yeah, listen, RP Nick Chubb, right leg, get well soon, left leg, whichever one it was. But they are in for a rude awakening come Sunday without Nick Chubb.
It's gonna get bad, man.
Yeah.
I think the game will be competitive because I do think the Browns defense is good. So I do think it'll be one of those games where the first half is kind of tight and the 49ers kind of figure out something and start to pull away.
Yeah. Hopefully though, but like we kind of never know what the 49ers like.
It might be 28.
I was so excited to watch a defensive battle versus them and the Cowboys.
Yo,
I don't think the ball hit the ground until like the third quarter.
I had my housewarming Sunday. Shout out to everybody that came. Me and my brother was in here playing 2K, and I stopped. I said, I'm going to watch the game. No, like, I'm not playing another one. I had the game on this TV and in the TV here. Like, I wasn't playing no game.
Right.
Like, and I look up. I'm like, fuck San Francisco, dog. Like,
oh, no.
Like, y'all could have just gave me a half a game, dog.
From the first play. The first play, they did the Dolphins motion, and Brandon Ayuk just took a step and turned around and was wide open. I was like, yeah, this might be over. Like, oh, yeah, this might be done already.
Man.
Like, that first drive, like, it was just, like, checkers.
Man. So they're ridiculous, bro. So, London game, the game I am excited about, very important game for both of these teams, Ravens, Titans. Yeah. So 9:30 a.m. our time, but I think that's like 1 o'clock their time. The Ravens are 3-2. The Titans are, I think they're 2-3. I want to say they are 2-3.
Yeah,
I was right. They're 2-3. This game is more important for the Ravens than the Titans, in my opinion, simply because the Titans are going nowhere. The Ravens have potential to go somewhere, but the Ravens do need to get ahead of this division because their schedule gets really tough in a few weeks. Yeah. And they have a strand of like 5 out of 7 games that are ridiculous. So they need to get healthy and they need to get a couple wins. That's why that Colts win and that Steelers win. Colts loss and Steelers loss hurt so much because they should really be 5-0 right now.
And they need them games. Yeah.
They need them games. So I think this will be a defensive battle again. I think Tennessee's defense is always good. Mike Vrabel is a really good defensive coach. I don't think they'll be able to move the ball, so I do have the Ravens winning this game. But what are you expecting?
I think it'll be a very, I don't want to say a nasty game in London, but it'll be a nasty game.
Factual.
It'll be Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. I think the Ravens will win. The Titans have no passing game at all. It's
DeAndre Hopkins getting open, though.
Shout out to DeAndre Hopkins.
He getting open.
And he's a great player to have in Tennessee because they're not even trying to get him open. He's like, man, hey, we're going to throw to D-Hop this way. Like, okay, like, where are we going to throw to him? Yeah, wherever he is. Shout out to D-Hop.
Fuck it, he over there. He's down there somewhere.
Yeah, we're going to come out, throw it to D-Hop. And D-Hop like, all right, I'll go to the left side. He like, run over. But I think it'll be a good game. The Ravens are for sure going to win, though, just because, especially like you said, especially early in the year, Thursday night football, Sunday night football, London games, like standalone games, I usually think the more desperate team wins.
Yes.
And this will be a game where they're the more desperate teams. The Titans kind of ready to give up.
Coming off an awful loss, too.
Awful loss. I think they'll be good to go. John Harbaugh's a great coach. I like him after a loss. I think they'll be okay.
And last point, the Ravens left on Tuesday. Yeah. Tennessee left today. I think that is going to be a real X factor. That jet lag just is. The players say that it really does affect you. Right. So I think the Ravens leaving a little bit earlier than them will help them. A game of this is a very important game. This is probably the most important 1 o'clock game. The Seahawks and Bengals. Yeah. And I say this is the most important 1 o'clock game because of this. Bengals start the season 2-4, and the Ravens and Steelers start the season 4-2. Mm-hmm. You're behind the 8 ball in the AFC. Dolphins, Chiefs, Ravens, Chargers, and y'all know Bills. The rest of the teams. Bills. So,
Jags.
Out of all the contending teams, out of all the 8-9 playoff teams we're looking at, you're going to have the worst record. Mm-hmm. Your quarterback is hurt, and your defense isn't that good. Yeah. So, this is a, dare I say, must win for the Bengals? Mm-hmm. Do you think so?
Oh, yeah, 1,000%. And I think this is a measuring stick game for them in a sense, too. Because the Seahawks had a bad opening week, but since then have been playing great. And the Bengals have had struggled all season until last week where they looked really great. Shout out to them for throwing to Jamar Chase every play. As we said, if I was a coach, I would throw to a LSU receiver every play. So if you have one, it makes perfect sense to throw to him and double down about us being right. Sometimes as a wide receiver, you need to remind niggas I'm open. And that's what he did. Next week, he set them on fire, cooked them the whole game. But as good as Jamar Chase is, it's only been one wide receiver who's kind of been able to do that every single game. Shout out Vikings Randy Moss. So you're not just going to be able to throw 2-1 every single play like you did last game. And the Seahawks are a very talented team.
Very.
On both sides of the ball.
Yeah, for sure.
Because your offense played amazing last game. But this is going to be a game of, okay, can we get stops?
Yes.
Can we compete with great teams? And we just mentioned how teams with bad defenses really can't compete. And this is one of those games where, and it's funny, you think about the Seahawks offense, like, okay, great wide receiver core, probably one of the best, like, 1, 2, 3s in the league. But you don't view the Seahawks as, like, the Chiefs or the 49ers or a team that'll walk in, or like the Bills, who will walk in and blow the doors off of you.
Yeah.
But they absolutely will.
100%.
And I think that's why this
3-1 right now.
3-1. That's why I think this will be a very, very important game, because the Seahawks are looking at the 49ers.
Yes.
They're saying, all right, they're 5-0. If we get to 4-1, we got to play them twice. They still got to play the Rams. They still got to play the Eagles. They still got to play the Ravens. Mm-hmm. There are games coming up where they may stumble. If we can split, it's a lot of things you can do. So they're still in that division chase. I think they'll be locked in, ready to go, and it'll be on the Bengals defense to create pressure and end drives. That is probably the biggest thing, because what you're seeing a lot with the Bengals is, okay, yeah, they're playing conservative on offense, but their defense gets on the field and they're on the field. Third down conversion. And Joe Burrow gets back on the field. He hasn't played in 30 real life minutes, and he's on a hurt calf.
Yeah.
So he's just been sitting there for 30 real life minutes. So he's out of rhythm. So I want to see that defense, even if you aren't going to be, create turnovers, great sacks, third down, got to get people off the field.
Yes.
Yeah.
Flip to the Seahawks.
Yep.
Seahawks, this is a really important game for you. But as it's just said, you get to 4-1, you right there with San Francisco, and that means you right there for that number 1 seed in NFC.
Which you gonna need to get past San Francisco.
Come on,
yeah.
Come on now. So, run the ball. I think what Ish just said you don't want to happen is exactly what you need to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this because Kenneth Walker is on my fantasy team. Run the ball.
Yeah.
If you run the ball, what does that mean? You have the ball. If you have the ball, what does that mean? Joe Burrow does not have the
Literally.
ball. And how do they win games? Because Joe Burrow is the second best quarterback in football.
Yeah.
So if you can simply control the time of possession,
right,
and Geno have no mistakes. Geno can't have a pick. Geno can't have a fumble. Geno can't even have a fumble that gets recovered. Right. Like, you can't give them any momentum. It's one of because they're on the road. Yeah. It's one of those games where by the middle of the second quarter, you want the crowd to be out of.
Yeah.
By because they're gonna get back up after halftime, and then when it comes around middle of the fourth quarter, they're out of it again. You want to take the fans out of it, and you do that by controlling the game, making this game quote unquote very boring by running the ball, play action, getting the ball to DK, letting him run after the catch, letting Tyler Lockett. Well, he don't really run after the catch anymore, but letting the rookie run after the catch and getting Kenneth Walker downhill and running some quick screens, some quick wide receiver screens, things that keep you in bounds, that keep the clock running.
Last week, the Bengals.
The Bengals, the Cardinals.
Okay.
And if you do those things, I think they will win. We'll do game picks later, but I think they have a very, very big shot to win this game. If I was a betting man, I don't know. I probably would take the Bengals because they're at home and they just came off a win. But I like the Seahawks in this game a lot because exactly what I'm saying they can do and they should do, I know they will do. Every time I come in here, certain teams, we be like, what do the 49ers need to do to win? Yeah. What we say they go do. Yeah. When we sit Seahawks, one of those perfect coach teams, all the teams, Seahawks, even the Bengals, the Jags, those really great coach teams, because football is simple. Like, it's the ins and outs are complex, but the keys to win, control the clock. Yeah. Some games you want to control the clock. Some games, like Mahomes tonight, Mahomes want to get out. Like, they want to get out, get the ball downfield. We're going to push the ball down the field, and we're going to try to get up 10-15, 10-0, 17-0, because we know they can't play from behind, because we know their defense can't stop us. Right. So it's certain ways to win games that are keys to win usually are very simple for a football team. And this week for me, don't turn the ball over, control the time of possession.
And lastly, they played the Cardinals last week, and I know you're gonna watch that Cardinals film, And the consensus in that 49, the Seahawks defensive room is, okay, they're not us.
Yeah.
Because Witherspoon and Woolen are the type of DBs that if I'm Pete Carroll, when the play starts, do not take a step back. We are not giving free releases.
Yes.
We are not giving bubbles. We are not giving slants. You are these corners, and shout out to the Seahawks. We talked about you hit on 3 straight drives. I can get you to a bowl. They look like they're 2 for 2 because that Witherspoon DB is
100%.
He is a hooper, and having him and Woolen being able to be that athletic and physical at the line of scrimmage, stifle Joe and get home. You broke through, had a bunch of sacks last week. I think it was versus Daniel Jones. Bengals, not a great O-line.
No.
Try to do the same thing. Disrupt the timing. No free releases. No bubbles. If Joe Burrow wants, this is going to be crazy. If Joe Burrow wants to throw the ball deep down the field to Jamar Chase, let's see him do it. This isn't 2020 Joe Burrow. Let's see him do it on the calf. Let's see him extend plays while not being moved, especially versus our athletes.
Make Joe Burrow prove he's 100%.
Facts.
If after the first quarter they don't got you over the top, all right, we'll adjust. We'll go back to drop to it because they like to play a lot of cover 3. We'll drop back to our base cover 3, match cover 3, and we'll go to that. But I agree with you. For the first part of the game, we're going to press. We're going to get real physical. We're not going to let you get nothing easy. You're going to have to beat us over the top. And the last thing I'll say, pressure, contain. Yeah. Pressure, contain. Yeah. The reason Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase were able to hook up, they got a lot of plays outside the pockets. Joe Burrow got a lot of plays on the movement, which makes me think he is definitely more healthy than he was because he wasn't moving. That's a big part of his game.
Yeah. He looked really good last week.
He did. He looked very good.
A couple times.
Yes. Yeah. He looked very good. And that's exactly why I'm saying contain, because if you can keep him in that pocket, he's comfortable in there, but he wants to get out of the pocket to make those plays where Jamar Chase is like, oh, let's free run it now. Let's get across the field, get across the face, throw my hand up.
Scramble drill with a nigga I've played 6 seasons with already.
Come on now. Like, you don't want that.
2 of the best to ever do
exactly.
Like.
So, before I go, I do want to mention this game. I said this game was a must-win for the Bengals, but now this is a no doubt. I got to fucking have this.
Yeah.
49ers, Bills, Ravens, Steelers, Jags. That's 5 of the next 6. They have a game against the Texans after the 49ers and Bills. But they go 49ers next week, game of the week. Bills the week after that, Sunday Night Football.
Boy, I hope Joe Burrow's healthy for the 49ers.
Come on, man.
Boy, listen, I pray he's healthy.
He might not need to play.
Damn, if he's not healthy,
take this week off,
bro.
Dog.
If he's not healthy for that 49ers game, bro, don't put him out there, dog.
Bruh. So, on to two bad teams, but 2 fun watches. Right. Vikings and Bears. The first questions I'm going to ask is regarding the Vikings. Do you think they should trade Kirk Cousins?
I would trade him 1,000% because you're not going to re-sign him.
No.
And he can't be franchise tagged.
No.
So that is the issue that we'll talk about more probably next year with Dak, where you can't franchise him. So you're going to pay what market value is. And we talked about how it's only 10 good quarterbacks in the league. Kirk could be like, man, I'm 11. I'm 12 for real. Like, I don't want 250, but mark it up. I need 170. Like, Daniel Jones got what, 140?
40 a year.
I ain't gonna lie. I need 50.
I am better than Daniel Jones.
Yep, no, without a doubt. We've been to the playoffs. I'm putting up great numbers. This defense
sucks. That's why we're losing.
Last year, I drug that shit defense to the playoffs. As shout out to Justin Jefferson, he really drug them. I was kind of just there. But we wasn't there because y'all had a great defense around us. We were there because of the offense that I was running. Not a great offensive line. I hope y'all watch the video. Niggas breaking my ribs every week. And that's the thing. This is why I like watching quarterback. Because now, I need mine. I need every dime of that shit.
100%.
Niggas launching off the ground to tag me in my chest while I'm playing QB, bro. Y'all ain't got me no help. Like, and you got to reset. You have no talent. Justin Jefferson's pissed. He's hurt. I'd be both. Kirk Cousins, you're not going to be able to bring him back. And next year, bro, I don't know if they watch college football. It's like 5 or 6 really good quarterbacks coming out.
And the next year, it's another 2 or 3.
And everybody can't have Caleb Williams, bro.
The experts are saying this is the best quarterback draft in 10 years.
Oh, yeah, easy.
So, I agree with you. I think they should trade Kirk Cousins. 2 reasons why, bro. One, I am a huge believer in the longer you watch the show, please subscribe. Thank you for listening. The longer you watch the show, the more you'll hear me talk about, if something has not worked in 3 years, it's not going to work. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. This lineup, this roster has not worked. It got you to the playoffs. It lost you to you lost in the playoffs against Daniel Jones. That's my leverage to the Vikings. But
facts.
You lost in the playoffs to Daniel Jones. The next year, you start off the season 1-3, 1-4. So it's over.
Yeah.
There's even if you re-sign Kirk, what are you gonna get?
Yeah.
10-7 at best. A first round exit, maybe one playoff win at best.
Yeah.
But goal is to win a Super Bowl, right? Do you think Kirk can do that? No. So what I would do, I would sign Cam Newton. My bad. I would.
It's crazy. Cam said he not taking no pay cuts, and I felt that shit.
I felt that, bro. Cam is very well off. Made a lot of money, and he pretty much said, "Bro, I ain't finna go work my ass off and bust my ass and be studying all night to be a backup to some trash ass nigga for $5 million. Nah,
for $750K here.
Bro, fuck out of here. So seriously though, they're working out Colt McCoy. Bring in a quarterback. Yeah. Get your backup ready. Sit Justin out for the season. Maybe let him come out and run some more routes at the end of the year.
Justin's not coming back till you get a deal. Justin's not coming back out.
I wouldn't either. So like I'm saying, sit Justin out for the season. And if you want to haul out, trade Justin Jefferson. You can get a lot.
See, that's the thing.
For Justin and Kirk.
They're going to have to trade Justin Jefferson.
You think so?
Yeah. They're going to have to trade Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Because Justin Jefferson is super unhappy. Mm-hmm. And I can understand why. Like, the team around him has regressed since he's got there, which as a young player is probably the worst thing you want to see. Like, every year they've gotten worse. Losing talent every single year, and now they're gonna reboot. And it's like the contract Justin Jefferson talking about, like either y'all gonna trade me or y'all gonna pay me. And the problem is Justin Jefferson doing things at wide receiver we've never seen before. So he's saying my check should look like I'm doing something we've never seen before, and it's hard to disagree, especially in the NFL now, because if they won't pay him, niggas will.
And in this NFL, you're starting to need a key receiver.
Yep.
You're starting to need one. Unless you got Patrick Mahomes, you're starting to need one.
Yeah, somebody to separate.
Somebody to separate, because these defenses, as we mentioned, a lot faster and stronger.
Yep.
Every year. So I think the Vikings, if I am the Vikings, I am trading Kirk, and I'm trying to get some draft picks, and I'm a defensive player, and I'm trading Justin. I'm trying to get another defensive player and a first and a second.
Yeah.
Go draft a quarterback next year, trade up in the draft, try to get a top 10 pick. You're going to have a top 10 pick, actually. So you're not even going to have to trade up in the draft. Draft a quarterback. You might be able to get 2 first. Draft a quarterback. Draft somebody to that defense. Draft 2 receivers. You'll be okay next year, probably pretty bad, but you have a rookie quarterback. You like your offense. You like your head coach, who is a phenomenal offensive mind. Yep. So you trust him with a rookie quarterback and to build around his skill set. 2 years from now, you could be looking at another playoff berth. It is time for a rebuild. It's over.
I'm glad you mentioned Kevin O'Connell, too, because let him pick a guy. Let him pick someone. Let him pick who he wants to play in the season. Right? Yeah. We had Kirk when he got there. You had to work with Kirk. Mm-hmm. Give him a chance to pick someone, because that's what happened with Mahomes. Andy Reid got to pick Mahomes. Give him the opportunity to say, that's who I want to run offense. These are the skill set that I want the player to have. Give him that opportunity, because you have one of those coaches that we talked about that you want as an organization. An offensive mind, he's going to make the people that you're paying better. Let him try to swing at the fence and, really look at the draft and be like, oh, yeah, that's the guy we need. Because your division isn't crazy, but that Lions team not going anywhere.
Exactly.
So,
and the Packers are going to be better.
Facts.
So, Bears.
Oh, yeah.
On to them. And this segment this little 10 minutes really wasn't about the Vikings and Bears playing. Nobody cares about that. It was really just talking about the 2 teams.
We all lose.
we all lost that game.
Yeah.
So, Justin Fields, back-to-back weeks, look great. Have they figured it out?
No.
Okay.
Justin Fields is pretty good. And for the people that, like, early in the season, they were like, man, Justin Fields is so bad. And then he went to the press conference and was like, yeah, I'm going to stop doing that shit. And ever since then has been playing good. Like, that's what he meant, y'all. Like, they tried to make Justin Fields beat Aaron Rodgers. And shout out Aaron Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks ever, MVP, Hall of Famer, all-time talent, all-time, whatever list you want to put him on. Like, for those reasons, you probably should not be trying to make young players play like Aaron Rodgers.
Wow, who would have thought?
Yeah, like in a vacuum, it sounds great. Like, yeah, this is how we coach Aaron Rodgers. But the more you think about it, it gets more absurd that you expect Aaron Rodgers out of this nigga who has never played like that ever in his life. They're getting the ball out quicker. They're getting the ball to DJ Moore. They're, shout out Chase Claypool. They got him off the field. He's in Miami now. But I think
Chicago to Miami.
Listen, shit. Salute, young. But I think Justin Fields is a pretty good.
No disrespect to Chicago, by the way.
Yeah, no disrespect. No disrespect.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, but I think Justin Fields talent. DJ Moore talented. They can play football, but I think they're going to be trash the rest of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
100%. I don't think they win more than 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
Do you think they should keep the coaching staff though? No. If he continues to look this way.
No, everybody should go.
Okay.
Everybody should go. Top to bottom. Everybody should go.
Okay.
Offensive line coaches go.
Okay.
It's not a position on that team that's coached well.
Okay. Now, my last question. If they do stay bad and say they win 3 games and they have the number 1 pick, do you keep Justin Fields or do you trade him and draft Caleb Williams?
Yeah. And I mean this very literally. It's 4 teams in the league that should not draft Caleb Williams. Max 4 teams. Chiefs, Ravens, maybe the
Jacksonville, and the Eagles, yeah.
Maybe Jacksonville.
And Buffalo and Bengals, yeah.
Shit out. Well, Bengals. That's the one I was looking for. But, maybe Buffalo. But, man, the rest, everybody else but those, you're sitting down with your coach and your GM. You're going to sit down and have a real conversation about who you want to lead the team because he's that good.
He's that good, bro.
Yeah, he's that good. Shout out Caleb because we talk about him somewhat on the show, but I talk about him on Twitter. The Twitter college football niggas don't like when I do that. The Twitter college football niggas hate me for real. Because all the college football fans that be on Twitter are like Kirk Herbstreit. Them niggas are like super deep in the college football. Like so mad.
They be doing the recruits and shit.
Yeah, like that should be killing me. But I was talking about Caleb Williams, and I really believe this. And I don't have the biggest depth of college football knowledge, but that's the best college football player I've ever seen, other than Reggie Bush. Like, ever watched play football, he's the best I've ever seen. No lie. I didn't watch Herschel Walker play, but that's probably what it would look like. Like, it's like did you watch the overtime game?
Yeah.
Fam, I've never seen this. They called an ISO for this nigga on a 2-point conversion. They didn't call a play. There's no play. There's no play art. They deadass just called an ISO. They said, we're going to move the entire team to the other side of the field, and we're going to run you to the end zone. Just go figure it out. Just go figure it out. There's no route on the field. That nigga's blocking. He's getting to the corner with a free tackler. He's like, I'll just make a miss. I'm just going to make a miss. It's ridiculous. I've never seen a college football player be that good.
So to answer my own question, I love you, Justin Fields. I really do. I do love Justin Fields.
I love Justin Fields so much.
I love Justin Fields. And I do think wherever he goes, he will have a great career and be a playoff quarterback, a top 10, 15 quarterback the rest of his career. The only reason I say you trade this pick, not you trade this pick, you trade Justin Fields and keep the pick and draft Caleb Williams if you have the number 1 pick. Drake May, no, any other quarterback in the draft, no, you don't do that. For Caleb Williams, you do it because he might be a top 5 quarterback in 2 years already.
Yeah.
And 2, you're going to have to pay Justin Fields $275 million.
Exactly.
You're going to have to pay him. If he's not $275, he's going to be $225, $230. Yep. You're going to have to give him a ridiculous contract. Yeah. You're going to have to do the same thing for Caleb. And Caleb, by the time Caleb comes around, it might be $300.
Right.
But you would rather pay that money in 5 or 6 years than pay that money in 2 years.
No, I definitely agree.
And if you don't pay Justin Fields and you don't have him on your roster and you have a rookie for 5 years, you can put all the talent in the world around Caleb. Now, if GM, and president, whoever's in charge of firing coaches, if you're going to keep that same coaching staff with Caleb Williams, you might as well.
He's not coming out.
You might as well drop Johnny Manziel.
He's not coming out.
Like, I don't think he will either. I think if the Chicago don't change everything about their organization, he will not come out.
Yeah.
But Chicago has been searching for a great quarterback forever.
Literally.
So I believe if it is not Justin Fields, if Justin Fields, now all of this changes if Justin Fields plays like this every game, like he plays like he did this past Thursday and Sunday, every game for the rest of the season. Justin Fields in the season with 32 touchdowns and 8 interceptions and whatever.
And they're a playoff team?
And they close to the playoffs, or they just missed it, end up winning 7, 8 games. Nah, keep them. Right. But if Justin go back to what we saw 1 and 2, if it Justin is an offensive coordinator, if we get back to that, then I say you make that change.
No, I completely agree. But everybody else?
Everybody else should be doing whatever they can to get that man.
Yeah,
that boy is special. So Eagles Jets, and by the way, I watched Cam Newton play. That's the best college football.
I was gonna say Cam Newton's right there. But this was my cop out. Cam was a better college football player. I think Caleb was a better quarterback.
I can get behind him.
Yeah, because I think Cam was just like so unique.
You just can't fucking stop.
As a player, he was just better than everybody. Like physically better, faster. Like, but Caleb, like as a passer, it's just like
it's seriously beautiful.
It's ridiculous how polished he is.
It's beautiful, bro.
Yeah,
it's beautiful, bro. He has a beautiful ball, bro.
Yeah,
like, beautiful. So Eagles Jets. We'll stay on this quick. The Jets didn't look bad. But Zach Wilson still can't really figure it out. Yeah. And it's not even about him necessarily being turnover prone or not looking confident. He's just missing people that are open. Right. Like the plays that are designed pretty well. She's just missing the open guy. The touchdown he missed to Garrett Wilson, he had Tyler Cochran running wide open over the middle for a touchdown. So those are the things that the Eagles are going to take advantage of. And I'm not really asking this about who do you think to win this game, because I can guess who you're going to pick.
Yeah.
My question to you is, what are you looking for that Eagles offense? Because the defense has been great, as we expected. But the offense has been struggling in the red zone, and they haven't put up as many points. They've hit the deep ball, but when they get to the red zone, they're stalling out. Yeah. You saw Jason Kelsey's frustration with it last week on the sideline. That's not a motherfucker I want yelling at me like that. That's that country white boy chopping down trees.
That is one of the funniest videos, because you can feel the passion on his face. Like, he is so, like, what the fuck are we doing, bro? He's doing he's not doing, it's such, you could feel the passion radiating off of him. But what I'm looking for is, so we were talking about Brock Purdy earlier, and what I just remember what I was going to say was make easy look easy. Shout out to QB school. That's something they say all the time. The Eagles need to make the easy in the passing game look easy. Okay. Because a lot of the plays they've had, even the A.J. Brown game where he's just torturing people, a lot of those he's making spectacular plays. Mm-hmm. But last year, what we got so accustomed to seeing from Philly was they can do the spectacular on schedule, where the deep ball that you're catching is wide open. Okay. Like, this is what we're expecting. Mm-hmm. We're not going to need A.J. Brown to make an A.J. Brown play. We're going to get you open, too. I want to see more of those where easy looks easy, ball is out. We don't need to grind. Because, of course, we know you can win that way, but you need to be able to win the other way, too. So I think that'll definitely be this game. I think the Eagles D-line is just going to maul the Jets, though, so it's so hard to tell.
Yeah. It's going to be one of those games where if the Eagles don't score 24, actually, Eagles don't score 4 touchdowns, I'll be worried. I would be worried about them, because this is a good test for them, defense, offensively. I do think they'll be in control of this game. They'll have the ball a lot because they're going to pick Zach Wilson. I'll probably make him fumble a couple times. It'll be bad. But
Jalen Carter's going to live in that backfield.
Yeah, he's going to live in that backfield. So, and that just O-line is not good by any stretch of imagination. So, I am looking for his offense to have a big day, and if they don't, I will be worried. Yeah. Unless it's raining or something that we can't control. Let's take a quick break, though. Because I meant to ask you about this as we started the football. Yo, what would you do if you were an NFL wide receiver and your NFL coach was telling you before games, instead of catching an NFL football that we're going to be playing with, I want you to practice with rugby balls?
Yo,
if you don't know, if you haven't seen the video, the Ravens wide receiver coach had them practicing with rugby footballs instead of NFL footballs. You don't play NFL football with a rugby football. Just in case you didn't know. I don't know if you know that, but you don't do that.
different size, different texture. I you know what? My first reaction was the low key, the regular reaction, like, what the fuck are you doing? But then I thought about it. If I was the Ravens wide receiver coach, I'd probably be trying a bunch of shit too. Like, because you're already on thin ice. Like, the Ravens wide receiver coach, he is probably at the drawing board almost every day. Like, trying to figure out what we can do to make some of these niggas catch
Rugby
the ball.
balls was like the sixth thing on his
Yeah,
list.
he done tried a bunch of shit. Like, they used to be like, yeah, Odell used to catch milk cartons and shit. He's probably got them doing the drone drop. Like, he probably got them doing a bunch of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to get ready for these games. But I'm such a I'm telling you, we don't call for people jobs often, but I sure sit your ass down in the meeting room. Seven drops later, fam, sit down.
Eight drops for 135 yards and 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. But Lamar ain't playing up to his contract. Lamar shouldn't get the money.
That bro, like what killed me about that is like week 1, everybody was like, well, Patrick Mahomes can't catch it for everybody, okay. Because everybody dropped it. Dang, Kadarius Toney. Like, everybody killing Kadarius Toney. And not a soul was on Twitter like, man, say Flowers. Like, Rashad Bateman. Damn, fuck them niggas. Nah, it was like, wow, Lamar. Okay.
All right,
he still played pretty good, too. Shout Lamar.
Sunday Night Football, man. Giants, Bills. Hey, came in here to tell you.
Yeah.
You was right again. I was also right, but he called it more, so I just said this is a tendency that he has.
Yeah.
2 great games from Josh Allen.
Yep.
And the Josh Allen button was hit.
Oh, yep.
The third game. You cannot get 3 perfect games out of him.
No.
And if you get 3 perfect, the 4th one is coming.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about Josh Allen's 335, 3 touchdowns, 325, 4 touchdowns, and then he's 260 with 3 touchdowns.
Right.
Or 1 touchdown. It's 335, 445, 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, and then 175 with a pick, a fumble, and no touchdowns, or some ridiculous shit like that.
One tablet slammed against
like shout out to Stephon, dog. You know how I feel about my dog. 114 a dog, man.
It's so comforting, predictable, knowing. Because the minute I saw him underthrow that pass, I said Stephon Diggs gonna get to the sideline. Pissed. He gonna get to the sideline. Beside himself, nigga. Like, you got me Moss, bro. Like that. Like, I'm running 40 yards down the field the other way. I like the average football fan, it's real hard to plant that foot and just elevate. Like, that's not something everybody do. Like, I'm running the other way. You Josh Allen, nigga, the last thing I'm expecting is for you to leave it short. You Josh Allen. Like, man, it was a very tough afternoon for Josh. A lot of missed throws, a lot of misreads, and no shade to him. Like I also said, you gotta know your homies for real.
Hey, but I will say,
yeah,
prayers to the Giants. Because he coming this week.
Oh, no.
He coming this week.
I'm telling you, we need to soundboard because you had a bad day. You take the big look. They are finna get smashed into the ground. Oh, my God.
You had a bad day.
I'm telling you, they are finna get stepped on. Ooh,
yeah, so prayers to Daniel Jones and the Giants. And, again, prayers up to Matt Milano and Trey White, man. 2 horrific injuries. Yeah. Von Miller did come back. He played in spurts. He didn't seem 100% healthy. I expect him to have a little bit bigger game this week. And lastly, Cowboys and Chargers. I told Taylor the wrong team. My bad, Taylor. Cowboys, Chargers. Monday Night Football, 8:15.
Yeah.
Do you watch the Payton cast or do you watch the
watch
without sound?
I watch it without sound, but sometimes if like this is gonna sound bad, if the QB's trash, I watch the Payton cast
because Peyton Manning is hilarious.
Yeah,
Peyton Manning is hilarious.
Yeah,
Peyton Manning watch a quarterback throw a pick and be like,
yeah. Peyton Manning is the reason I am so impressed with Deion Sanders being a coach. Because you can see the frustration on his face that them niggas are not Peyton Manning. Like, you can see. He be like, bro, just do it. Like, what are you doing? Yo.
Bro, it's really not that hard, bro.
The way Peyton see the game, that's probably the most frustrating shit in the world for him. Like, he probably watched him get to the line and be like, okay, he gonna check to this, he gonna check this, and they don't check. And then he be like, okay, he gonna throw this, and he throw a pick. Like, he's like, what are we...
Bro, he grabbed his head and just staring to the camera, blank face, like, I cannot believe this nigga is.
That's why it's so
ass.
funny with Eli, because Eli is that guy. Like,
Bro,
Eli is Eli told people, yeah, I see. I was doing this.
Wasn't that bad a pass, honestly.
I thought it was over.
Shout out to my nigga Eli, man. Eli and Payton, I fuck with them. Real New Orleans boys. So, and by the way, quick side story. This is pretty cool. It shows you just how, like, people, stars be colliding. Wayne said that on his way to, like, school in the morning, or, like, home from the studio, one of those. Home from the studio with the Hot Boys or on the way to school, one of those. He said the high school that they went to, like, he remembers seeing all of them outside.
The Mannings, yeah.
The Mannings on the practice field, 5, 6 in the morning. Peyton, Eli, Archie, and Cooper. All of Cooper's their younger brother who didn't make it because of his back. All of them outside running routes, throwing passes, running hills, shit like that. And it just be like, it's always cool to me.
How those worlds collide.
How worlds collide and why so-and-so got there.
Right.
Like, okay. You was 13 at 6 in the morning throwing routes. No wonder you Peyton Manning.
Yo,
no wonder you won 2 Super Bowls.
That's the thing. Like, Peyton Manning, like, he's probably looking at this shit like, man, I've seen that coverage 800 times. Like, why are you confused?
Yeah.
For Peyton Manning, it makes no sense why you're confused.
Exactly.
Right? But for the regular guy who wasn't up at 6 a.m. at 12, like, doing 2-a-days. Peyton Manning did training camp for 7 years before he got to college.
So, but Cowboys, Giants, I mean, Stoops, I'm sorry, I'm reading the board, y'all. Cowboys, Chargers. Must win for both teams, in my opinion.
Right.
Not literally, but mentally.
Yeah.
And I won't even say must win. I will say a term that nobody has ever said, so I'm going to trademark it. Must be well coached.
Okay.
That is what I'll say. Because if the Chargers lose off of field goal, but it's a CeeDee Lamb just beat your corner. You traded J.C. Jackson, your number one. He beat Asante Samuel Jr., made a crazy play, 35-38. All right, you can live with that. Yeah. But if you have a clock manager issue with Brandon Staley, if you have a clock management issue with Brandon Staley, or this defense look like they can't stop a fly from getting through a fly trap, like if they look like that, then you're going to have some questions after this game. Dak Prescott, Mike McCarthy. If this offense can't move the ball versus this mediocre defense, if they're having trouble, if Dak is turnover prone, if Mike McCarthy doesn't call a great game, both of those outcomes will cause outrage. And that is why I'm saying this is a must-be well-coached game.
Crazy.
Not even must-win, because both these teams have favorable schedules and a really good roster, so they'll both be in the playoffs at the time. But this is a must-be well-coached game, or all hell is going to
I think you're 100% correct. But you're so right, and there was one more you missed. Because Dan Quinn, I saw what they did. I saw what they did to y'all last week.
That's a good one.
And I saw what they did to Micah last week.
That's a good one.
And you know who's calling plays on the other side this week? The nigga who used to be in Dallas, who y'all said wasn't good enough. And
That's a great point. I did not think about. I forgot about that point.
He got this one circled.
Shout out to Kellen Moore.
You know he got this one circled. You know he walking in there like, I ain't got that.
Trying to put up 45 on them motherfuckers.
He trying to hit heavy. And the thing is, we all believe Dallas is a Super Bowl level team because of that defense. And the problem is, when to get to the Super Bowl, you don't play bad teams. We judge your defense off stopping good offenses, and you haven't done that yet.
You couldn't stop Joshua Dobbs.
You couldn't stop Josh Dobbs. So,
no offense, Josh.
If this is second week in a row against the 85 Bears, 2014 Patriots, 2013 Seahawks, all that shit y'all was calling yourselves, and Justin Herbert walking that bitch up and down the field, it's going to be some real panic in Dallas.
Yes, sir.
Because nobody, because like, and we'll talk about that. We'll finish up with that in a second. Like, seeing you press that button, we all kind of knew you could do it. But I think the more overwhelming thing from the Niners game was like, wow, that looks really easy. That looked really easy. Every Brandon Ayuk catch, he had time to catch it, turn around, look to see where to run, start to run.
Yep.
Yeah, the Debo only had a couple carries. He ain't need to run that much. CMC late into the third quarter, smashing over your D lineman.
It was so bad. The starters didn't finish the game.
Dog, I don't think Purdy played in the fourth, like, at all.
Steph Curry 2016 type shit.
Yeah, like, they pulled him. Like, no mas. Like, please, no more. So, if this is the second week in a row where the defense that we thought would be the best in the league. Well, of course, you're missing Trayvon Diggs, but, life's not fair. That we thought would carry you. If y'all are in a defense that can not only compete with great offenses, like, you're just not going to stop great offenses, that is a problem. Because, yeah, you can overwhelm trash teams very easily, and that's amazing. But trash teams don't make the playoffs.
Thank you.
And that is these are the type of teams you're going to compete with. The Chargers is a great litmus test to how ready we are for the next stage of football that we need to play. So that's what I'll definitely be looking for.
And lastly, that.
Oh, yeah.
Look, bro. I feel bad for you. Honestly, I feel bad for you because if you were in LA right now,
yeah, the Raiders quarterback.
If you were the Raiders quarterback,
yep.
If you were the
Texans,
Chargers,
yep.
Any other team damn near other than like the Jets and the Cowboys, niggas wouldn't be calling you as bad as they do.
Yeah, niggas wouldn't be sweating you like this.
Niggas would not be sweating you like that because you're not a bad quarterback by any stretch of imagination. No. Like, a lot of teams wish they had a Dak Prescott on their team.
Yeah, like, Dak, you're not bad.
But it's like, you play for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So, if you're really good and you play for the Cowboys, you're just good.
Right.
If you're good and you play for the Cowboys, you're okay.
Yeah.
And if you're okay and you play for the Cowboys, you suck. Yeah. And if you suck and you play for the Cowboys, we hate you. Yeah. So please just take care of the ball, bro. I don't want these people coming in here yelling at you
last
again.
week.
All these, because it's going to be another week of, do they sign Dak? Is Jerry going to sign Dak? Can they win a Super Bowl with Dak? Non-stop. Cooper Rush, should he play? He looked good last year. It's just going to be a bunch of unnecessary noise that you don't deserve. Please don't turn the ball over, bro. Please.
We talked about y'all game last week, Dak, and we're not going to hit on what you did last week. We're gonna
I'll forgive you.
We're just going to let that.
Fred Warner is him. That's all I'll say.
Bro, we're just going to let that ride. That's 49ers defense. But the one thing we said going into the game was, please don't let it be you this week. And God started, man. As bad as the defense played, you could have got out of there. But the picks, dude. The picks, bro. We got to clean it up, fam. Especially because it's such a hot button for you. Like, when you said, oh, yeah, I'm not going to throw 10 picks this year. Well, you might, my nigga. And the thing is, you play in Dallas. So the minute you hit 10 picks, when you walk up to the press conference, have your answer ready. Have that typed up. Have that one in your notes.
His publicist behind that one.
Yeah, because the first question is like, what happened? Why you got 10 picks already? It's week 7. Why you got 10 picks, Dak?
You know how in TV shows they'll be like, "Where's my concession speech?" And they'll be like, "I never wrote it." Dak Prescott's gonna be like, "Hey, can I get a speech?" All right, you wrote one. Right. I wrote this bitch in July. Right. I knew.
Hey,
it was
man, I didn't think I would throw 10 picks, but I did. Could you? Oh yeah, it's right here.
It's right here.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I knew this in July, nigga. Why'd you say that?
Yeah, I got one for next year too. Man, yeah, Dak. Listen, just please don't let it be you this week.
Please.
And the Chargers defense not world beaters.
No, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. They got some playmakers over there, but you got one of the best offensive line football. They're going to protect you. You're not going to have to worry too much about Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. So, hey, man. Hey. Just don't turn the ball over. I don't care. If y'all lose 27-24 off a game-winning field goal or 28-35 off a game-winning drive, touchdown, some shit like that, all right, cool. We'll live with that. Just please don't be the reason.
I almost forgot, and I want to hit this before we dip. Micah. Shut the fuck up. Please, bro.
Thank you.
Please, bro. And I say this in a way respectfully. You know, having a podcast in the NFL weekly and having a podcast in the NBA like Draymond does,
not the same thing.
So different, bro. Especially because you play for the Cowboys. You don't gotta say it, bro. If you kind of say it, it's like, oh yeah, we weren't prepared to play. What was that? What you said? Oh yeah, turn that up. We wasn't prepared to play. Oh, that's a coaching problem. And that's
Thank you.
And that's the thing. That's not going away anytime soon.
So
you might want to calm down on the we weren't prepared, because it's going to be a lot of weeks. Your Mike McCarthy coach football team
is not prepared.
Won't be the best coach football team on the team on the field. It's going to be a lot of those weeks.
Thank you, bro. That was my point with that, bro. It's like you bringing down the ship. You snitching. You dry snitching, my nigga.
You dry snitching.
But for what?
And my thing is, we're old school. Oh, you're not prepared. Ray Lewis wasn't doing no podcast. Ask Ray Lewis what he was doing on Wednesdays and Tuesdays.
Prepping.
Ask Ray Lewis. He wasn't doing what you doing.
Prepping.
You not ready. You doing a 2-hour pod. Nigga, I do a pod. I know how much time it take. What you doing, bro? It's not like he works somewhere. It's not like he go to ESPN or like Rogers. Rogers pull up on the pod. He go to somebody else's pod. Rogers does. He can show up. He can just vibe.
15 minutes, we got to hear.
Yeah. You're doing this by yourself, basically. Like, he got to record, get guys. Like, you got to do all that shit. And then don't tell me you're not prepared now. That should be the last thing you should be. But, that's the thing when you're on a pod and he doesn't have, like, somebody kind of steering it in a way, that shit's just going to slip out.
And the last thing I'll say is you're supposed to be the Cowboys' leader.
Dog.
You're supposed to be the leader of that defense, the best player on that defense.
Right.
And those type of comments don't get you that. Mm-hmm. Like, say I wasn't prepared.
Right.
Say I didn't play my best.
Yeah.
Say the team is fine, we'll be okay. I didn't prepare my best. I'm ready to see them again. Yeah. Don't put this on your team. Don't write the team Mike McCarthy got a cash. Don't write a check Mike McCarthy got a cash.
Why are you saying I can't wait to see them again? You shouldn't be saying that.
You shouldn't be saying that. You should be praying to God the Eagles beat them out.
Y'all play the Eagles in the like this. What Kevin Hart say? That's not your line. That's not your part. That's for the liners to say. Like, you got up too fast. Lay back down. Like, let George Kittle do what he's doing. Like, why are you saying, oh yeah, can't wait to see them again? Debo said, I don't think y'all want that. Like, why would you want that? They could have easily scored 50. We didn't play a whole
60,
quarter.
50,
We didn't play a quarter.
60.
Like, it's some stuff we didn't even touch. Like, they was running trick plays. Like, they was running double reverse passes. Like,
they ran a triple pass.
Yo, please, Micah, bro. Just vibe out, twin. Just vibe out. Talk about the Cowboys. When y'all lose, be like, yeah, man, we didn't put the effort we wanted out there. We'll get them back,
Cool,
all
move
that
on.
stuff. Let's not say, oh, yeah, we weren't prepared or, we didn't know what they were going to do, because that is something that's a red flag.
I don't like the athletes having podcasts unless you're a vet. Like, Draymond can have a podcast because I've won 4 championships. I'm 5 years, and I'm building the rest of my career out.
Literally.
PG, same thing.
Right.
Pat Bev, same thing. These young players, Trey Young, Micah Parsons, these young players starting podcasts. Now, Trey Young, if he doesn't do this in season and it's just like I dropped 10 episodes in the summer, that's one thing. But weekly dropping episodes, talking about your game, talking about I don't think you're mature enough to do that.
Right, and you're playing with fire.
You're playing with fire, and you're playing in Dallas. Yeah. Why are you bringing more attention?
Dog, that's my thing, bro. That's why, you know what? You said you feel bad for that. I kind of do too. I kind of feel bad.
I really do, bro.
Like, dog,
I really do.
Cause you can kind of see it in his face. He want to walk in there and just be like, "Can y'all fucking stop?" Like, Jerry, Mike, can y'all niggas just stop?
Can everybody just shut up?
Like, can y'all let me play QB, bro? Like, y'all making it so hard, bro. Like, can y'all niggas just let us hoop for? Give me one season, bro. Just give me one season, bro.
Can I get one season of you shutting the fuck up?
Like, when he went to that press conference after, I think they were 2-1, they said, yeah, no team's ever been undefeated. What the fuck are you talking about? It's week 3. It's week 3. Like, what are you hearing that is on your mind? I really, like, it's a lot going on in Dallas, and then you were like, oh, yeah, we should start a pod.
Them niggas asked Jerry Jones about the 49ers the week before. He said, like, they look like they're going to win the Super Bowl.
That nigga was like, shit, them niggas tough. Them niggas tough for real. He said, you look at all the teams, them niggas hard. Them niggas hard. It's crazy. I feel so bad for him because back in the 90s when this happened, he was like, you know what, fuck it, we gonna sign Dion. There's nobody signed now, nigga. Ain't nobody coming to save you no more. People forget that about them Cowboys. They be like, man, the dynasty Cowboys. It wasn't always like that.
Nah.
It was a long time. Listen, the 49ers were spanking that ass till y'all got Dion.
Shout out to that boy Dion.
You know,
sure. And the offensive line.
Yeah.
That offensive line.
Bro, Emmitt Smith. Man, crazy Cowboys teams. Too bad you'll never see it again.
Never in your life.
Never see it again.
Some quick hitters before we get out of here. I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I respect the game too much not to let y'all know what y'all did. It's not 35 players in the NBA better than John Morant.
Oh yeah, no, that list.
It's not 30 players in the NBA better than John Morant and Kyrie Irving. It's not 20 NBA players better than John Morant and Kyrie Irving.
Right.
I don't know if it's 15 NBA players better than John Morant and Kyrie.
No.
ESPN.
Yeah.
Stop getting emotional about these NBA players.
Yeah.
Because it is so obvious that bias and emotion are in your mind when you're making these picks, when you're making these projections. It is so obvious that it is feelings over facts. It is feelings over numbers. It is feelings over production. Why is it that way when you're supposed to be a non-biased sports a non-biased sports source, a non-biased sports network?
You're supposed to be ESPN. You remember ESPN? Do you remember ESPN when we were growing up?
The ESPN.
Right.
Niggas wanted to work at ESPN. You wanted to be on ESPN.
Think about this.
You woke up every morning before school, watch ESPN.
And I want to pose this question for the people listening too, especially because you made it this far. When you were growing up watching sports, what other sports network could you watch other than ESPN, realistically?
Thank you, Ish.
That didn't start becoming a thing until recently, where niggas will legit wake up and watch FS1 the whole day and not be tripping. Before, it was literally just ESPN and then ESPN2. Like, it wasn't like
ESPN News.
Yeah, it wasn't like I was going to, Fox South or CBS North or different channels to watch sports stuff. It was just this. And to see how far, because this is going to sound crazy. I'm kind of happy that they ranked Ja this low too with Kyrie, because they've been doing this with Kyrie for a couple years, and we've been telling people oh yeah, this list is just.
But a lot of people don't like Kyrie, so it's ignored.
Right now, you can't ignore that. Ja, the whole list. I don't really remember it by heart, but I did scroll the list and laughed at a couple things. What they're doing with Shea right now, I always love, and we talked about this, is because your first couple of years as a phenom PG, when you have these crazy numbers and lose, it's like, man, he's so good. His ceiling's crazy. We don't know how far he's going to go. And then 2 years later, when you don't win, it's, oh yeah, he's a ball stopper. Nobody wants to play isolation basketball. Nobody can. It's empty numbers. Somehow Shea's top 10. I don't know how. I like Shea a lot.
Shea is top 10, and Trae Young is number 29.
That's the thing. Yeah, and
Kyrie Irving is 33, John Morant is 35, but Shea is top 10. No disrespect to Shea.
And what is the argument for him over Trae?
You tell me, brother.
What's the argument over him over? It's so frustrating. Shout out to Shea though, had a great year.
Kawhi Leonard 24.
Kawhi 24. That's a crazy list for real.
Sabonis and Halliburton are better than Kawhi.
That's Sabonis?
Karl Anthony Towns.
So Sabonis, the face of no bag hoops.
Yes, sir.
The face of no bag hoops. Better than Kawhi. So if Kawhi and Sabonis both hit free agency today, more niggas will want Sabonis than Kawhi.
That's what ESPN is telling me.
Yeah, ESPN has been. I ain't gonna lie. It's been about 8 years since. Remember when they was doing that shit with Kobe? I mean, the list, the ESPN.
Do
Kobe,
I?
Yeah, the ESPN list. Yeah, dude.
Top 10. Anthony Davis at 10. LeBron at 9. Shea at 8. So let me ask you this. If you could start a team right now, would you rather LeBron and Anthony Davis or Shea?
Yeah. AD or Shea. That shit's crazy.
KD at 7. Jason Tatum at 6. Steph at 5. Luka at 4 after missing the playoffs.
Right.
Couldn't get a 10 seed.
Joel
Embiid at 3 after folding for the 4th year in a row.
Never has won 2 playoff series in 1 year.
At 3.
He's never won back-to-back playoff series in his life in the NBA.
Jokic at 2. Jokic is at 2 after coming off a Finals MVP.
Being the best player.
He pretty much swept through the playoffs. I know he got to a couple game 6, but he damn near swept through the playoffs.
I think the game 6 they had was Phoenix, right?
Yes. They were beating the shit out of everybody.
Literally. Lakers, you know how bad they beat them niggas? They be on tour what were we supposed to do? They would be posting clips of him hitting shots. Bro, what are you supposed to do? How do I play better?
Giannis got beat by the 8th seed, the 8th seed that made it to the finals, and then Jokic beat in 5 games, but Jokic is better than
right.
Giannis is better than Jokic.
Giannis didn't win a game versus that team. Did not win a game versus the team Jokic beat the draws off. The Steph and Embiid shit, you just kind of gotta laugh at.
Steph and Luka and Steph and Embiid, I don't get it. I don't understand.
But
I don't understand.
what the conversation I won't tolerate is Shea being a better basketball player than Devin Booker. I won't tolerate that. That's just something I can't tolerate at this point in either player's career.
It's just ridiculous. So that brings me to my next question, real quick, real fun. We're gonna rank some young point guards. You know how we feel about the old point guards. We're gonna rank some young up and coming point guards, all of which I just mentioned actually. So Trae Young, Ja Morant, De'Aaron Fox, Shea, and Jamal Murray.
Yep.
Rank them.
Is this who I would take, or who are
the best? The best. And this is not, yo, we playing pickup, I want these. Yeah. This is, I want them. These are all number 2 point guards. So we're going to say number 2 point guards. Damn. We want these point guards to be number 2. We're going to rank Trae Young, Ja Morant, De'Aaron Fox, Shea, and Jamal Murray.
These OKC niggas finna hate me. Oh my God. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Trae's gonna be 1.
Mm-hmm.
I got Fox 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ja Morant's better than Jamal Murray.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
And shout out Max Kellerman. Martians got the laser pointed at the earth. The death beam aimed at the city. Give me Jamal Murray over Shea, bro. I'm sorry. Give me Jamal Murray over Shea. Okay. I've seen Jamal Murray dominate too many playoff games against too many great defenses.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would have first team All NBA, top 5 player ever, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 5th on the list.
All right. At 1, I am going to stick with you, Mr. 30 and 10. Trae Young, I have it 1. Ja, I have it 2. Right. De'Aaron Fox, I have it 3. I think I'm going to go Shea at 4 and Jamal Murray at 5.
Right.
But that's really close.
Yeah.
I like, and to explain, Trae, I think, has been the most consistent out of the 5 since he's been in the league.
Yeah.
He's been 20 a game, double-digit assists. If it's not 10 assists,
led the league in scoring and assists.
At 21, 22. Yeah. And has been to a conference finals. Yep. Ja Morant, I think, is right a smidge below Ja. I mean, a smidge below Trae. The reason I think he's a smidge below is Trae's shooting ability.
Right.
I think what Ja is able to do in the paint, Trae is able to do similarly from his floater game.
Right.
I think Ja's most underrated, I would say, intangible right now is his IQ. I think Ja is one of the smartest players in the NBA right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think he's one of the few point guards that's been that athletic that uses it in spurts. Yeah. When he was young first coming in, he was just jumping everywhere. But last year, as you started the year get on, you started to see he got these knee injuries. Yeah. He started to use it in spurts, and his IQ is so well. He's so good in the pick and roll. Yeah. He is comfortable with shooting that floater 8 times a game and only really trying to get up the boom on your head once or twice.
Underrated passer, too.
Very underrated passer. Yeah. Fox, Trae, and Ja will be a very fun argument at the end of this season because I expect Fox to continue what he left off here last year. The only reason he's not above them 2 right now is because I need to see one more year of it. Yeah. Shea and Jamal Murray. I kind of agree with you on the Jamal Murray. I've seen him do more in the playoffs than I've seen Shea, but that is only because Shea hasn't been in the playoffs. The reason I am going with Shea over Jamal for right now is because I think if you put Shea on Denver, they might be the undisputed favorites right now. And I don't know if anybody would beat them. I think there's some teams that can beat them with Jamal Murray on the team. Yeah. But I might be wrong about that. I have to see, because Jamal Murray was coming off an injury. Yeah. And we give ACL injuries, you got to work back in. You got to get back in the shape. You got to get back in the game speed, game shots. Right. And by the time he got to the playoffs, he was cooking everything.
He was full health.
So I gotta see him full health for a full season, and his ranking at the end of the season might be a lot. Sorry about that. Pause. Went into the restroom. So we are back. This is just to end the show. Thank you for joining us again. Yes. This is episode 53 in the books. We'll figure out a name later. Again, shout out to Dion. They have won 2 in a row. I know they didn't beat the 2 teams that everybody said they were going to lose to, but they have won 2 in a row. 8 o'clock game against Stanford. Looking forward to them winning again. So shout out to Shador and all of that. And we will be back next week.
Yup, like, comment, subscribe, watch the past videos, watch the future videos. I know you can't, but time is not a flat.
Please.
Time is not forward, backwards, it's a circle. I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah. I don't believe in time, so I'm not gonna say see you next week.
I'm just gonna say see you.
See you soon.